Valley Theater.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. How nice to see you again. It's good to know that you've become a regular visitor. And since you're such a good customer, it's only fair to warn you that the story you're about to hear may be a little bit more disturbing than most. If the sounds of a woman screaming in utter terror unnerve you, then perhaps you may not want to listen to a tale called Where Fear Begins. It's a story about exactly that, fear. But perhaps the best way to find out is to hear what happens to Amanda Shepard on a dark night when moonlight streams through her window, but not just moonlight. Our mystery drama, Where Fear Begins, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Henry Slessor and stars Kim Hunter. The night is still and peaceful in the small town known as Manassas Valley. Most nights are peaceful here. And one person who enjoys that stillness is Miss Amanda Shepard. The big city is only 50 miles away, but for Amanda, it might as well be 50,000. But there are many ways to shorten distances. And tonight, something is going to happen that will destroy the peace and stillness of Amanda Shepard's life.
Yes. Hello.
Amanda, is that you?
Yes. Who's this?
It's Vera.
Vera? Oh, for heaven's sake, what's the matter with you? Don't you know what time it is?
Amanda, I need help. You've got to help me.
What are you talking about? Where are you?
Amanda, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm so frightened. You've got to help me.
Listen, are you drunk?
You've got to come out here. You've got to stay with me.
Vera, will you please make some sense? It's 2:00 in the morning. I'm 50 miles away.
Well, then come. Tomorrow, come. Oh, please. Please come as soon as you can.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Vera, I've got a class to teach tomorrow. Come to think of it, it's even worse than that. I have a faculty meeting.
Amanda, don't you understand? I need you. Don't make me explain. Just come.
All right. Look, I can't promise when I'll be there exactly. Where are you staying? Vera? Vera, what's the address? Did you hear me? Vera, are you still there? Vera! Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. What can I get you?
Nothing, thanks. I was looking for the manager.
So are his creditors.
Well, maybe you can help me. Have you worked here long?
Truth is, I don't work here now. I'm what you might call a guest bartender.
Oh, I see.
Tell me anyway.
Well, I'm trying to find someone. I know she no longer works here. She told me she quit her job about 2 months ago, but it's the last bit of information I have about her.
Now, who is her exactly?
Her name is Vera Shepard. Do you know her by any chance?
Nope, I can't say I do.
Well, she called me last night and sounded as if she was in trouble. I'm almost tempted to call the police, but knowing Vera could just be some of her melodramatics. Well, thank you anyway.
It's okay. Hey, wait a minute.
Yes?
This Vera Shepard, is she blonde, pretty, about your height?
Yes.
There's a girl I met in an encounter group last month. Her last name was Shepard, but her first name was Roxanne.
Roxanne? Well, that could be her. She always hated the name Vera. She was always threatening to change it. Look, have you any idea where she might be living?
Sure. She lives with me.
What?
In the same rooming house. Upstairs. In indescribable squalor, I might add. What's a nice lady like you doing with a friend like Roxy?
She's my sister.
Ouch. Well, excuse me, I think I'll go see if I can pry my foot out of my mouth.
Wait a minute. Where's this squalid rooming house of yours?
Number 9 Hudson Street, near the river. If you see a bum sleeping in the doorway, that's the place. Hey, you weren't thinking of going there now.
Of course.
It's not a good idea. Now, you can't go into a neighborhood like that looking the way you do.
What's wrong with the way I look?
Wait a minute. My friend Tony will be back here in 5 minutes to take over the bar. I'll go with you.
Well, I'm sure I can find it alone.
There's some pretty bad customers around there.
They don't look any better here.
You can trust me. Underneath this dirty shirt beats a hard, pure soap.
Well, all right.
Careful of those stairs. They're in bad shape.
How can people live in a place like this?
Nobody lives here. We exist on another plane. Our bodies may wallow in filth, but our souls live in penthouses.
Is that what you learned in your encounter group?
Well, here's her door. The grand portal of the Princess Roxanne.
She has a radio on.
I hope that isn't all she has on. Princess is a little hard of hearing.
She must be home. Let me try. Vera? Vera, you in there?
Might be asleep or stoned. Maybe she just went out and left the radio on.
Look, I'm terribly worried about her. She really sounded dreadful. She said she was frightened about something.
I could always break the door in. It's pretty flimsy.
Do you think we should?
Just say the word.
All right. Please.
That's the word. By the way, what did you say your name was?
Amanda Shepard.
My name is Kurt Davies. Pleased to meet you. That was easy. Come on in.
What an awful place.
I told you, indescribable squalor.
A beggar must be in here. Vera? Vera, it's me. It's Amanda. Oh, my... Vera! Oh, my God!
What is it? Is she sick?
Look at her. Look at her eyes.
Easy, take it easy. I don't think she's breathing.
She's dead. Oh, my God, my poor sister is dead.
All right, Miss Shepard, if you think you can talk about it now, let's get a few of the facts straight.
There's only one thing you have to get straight, Lieutenant Derrier. Somebody did this to my sister.
Yeah, you told me. How long were you two separated?
A little over a year. She left Manassas Valley about 14 months ago.
What for? Just to come to the big city?
I suppose that was her reason.
Any other reason you know about? Was there a man, for instance?
There was a man, all right, but not what you're thinking. Vera had a fight with our father.
Your father live in Manassas Valley?
Yes, my sister and I never got along very well with him.
The both of you?
Yes, both of us. But then Vera had this fight with him, and she packed her bags and left. She had some idea of becoming an actress or a singer or something like that.
And did she?
No. I don't know what she became here.
And when she called you last night, what did she say exactly?
She just said she was scared. Scared out of her wits, and I heard this terrible scream. Lieutenant, there's only one explanation. Somebody was after her. Somebody was in her apartment last night and killed her.
I'm sorry, Miss Shepard, but this is no murder case.
But you saw her eyes. You saw the way she looked as if she'd been frightened to death.
There's just no such thing, Miss Shepard. At least not on the law books. Your sister suffered a cardiac arrest. That's a heart attack.
I can't believe that. That look on her face.
It was just a death agony. That's all you saw.
Somebody was after her. Some man, probably. I'm sure of it.
Maybe she was scared because she was sick.
There was nothing wrong with her health.
Look, the medical examiner knows his business, miss. Of course, if you want to insist on an autopsy, that's your privilege.
An autopsy? That means cutting her open.
That's what it means.
And if it proved you were wrong? That she didn't die of natural causes?
Oh, we'd be the first to admit it.
All right, then. I want an autopsy. Look, I'm sure that something horrible happened to Vera.
Okay, whatever you say, Miss Shepard. I'll be in touch with you. Oh, where will you be staying?
I'll be staying right here.
I just don't see how you can live in that place.
Well, the rent's been paid until the end of the month. There's no reason I should stay anywhere else.
I thought you had a job in Manassas Falls.
Manassas Valley. And I do have a job. I teach school. I've already asked for a leave of absence. Look, I'm not leaving here until the police do something about this.
You may have a long wait.
It doesn't matter how long. I know something happened to my sister, and nobody seems to care.
Listen, I'll be taking care of the bar for another couple of hours. Why don't I meet you later for a drink or something?
No, I have to get home. I have to call my father, and I have to get some sleep. I'm so dreadfully tired.
Okay, but if you need a friend, remember, I live 1 floor away.
Yes, I'll remember. Dad, there was no way I could make the funeral arrangements yet.
Why not?
Because the police are performing an autopsy on Vera's body to determine the exact cause of death.
What? I thought you told me she had a heart attack.
Yes, but I still thought it'd be wise to learn more about it. Dad, she was only 26 years old.
Yeah, but she wasn't a well girl, Amanda. You know that. She had rheumatic fever when she was a child.
Always seemed perfectly well to me. Look, Dad, I'm just not satisfied about this. That's all there is to it. That's why I'm not coming home until I find out more.
You're a stubborn woman, Amanda. You're just as stubborn as your mother was.
All right, Dad. I'll try to speak to you again tomorrow.
What's the hurry? You haven't talked 3 minutes with yet.
I'm exhausted. I've got to get some sleep. Goodbye, Dad. How can I sleep? How can I? I know I'm just going to lie awake all night. Just thinking about Vera. Oh, Lord. Why did I decide to stay in this horrible place? I have to clean it up tomorrow. It's so filthy. At least that'll give me something to do. Oh, if only I could sleep. I wonder if Vera has anything in the medicine cabinet. Won't hurt to look. Yeah, what a mess of bottles. Half of them are empty. What's this one? Aspirin. Oh, wait a minute. This one's marked. For sleep, thank God. It's the only way I'll get to close my eyes tonight. What is it? It sounds like someone at the door. At the front door. Well, 1 minute. All right, I'm coming. If I can just find my slippers. Who is it? Oh, my God. Oh, my God, who's out there? Who is it? Who's out there? Go away! Go away! Whoever you are, go away! The door! It's broken! It's coming in here! Oh, God! It's coming in! Ah! Oh, dear Lord, help me! Help me! Somebody! Ah!
Well, now that's what I would call an unexpected visitor. Of course, there are neighborhoods in every large city that have their share of gorillas, but they're customarily of the human variety. How did this specimen get to Amanda Shepard's apartment? I'd be glad to tell you, but That would be spoiling the surprises that... And now, here's the second act of Where Fear Begins. Well, it appears that no harm has come to our friend Amanda Shepard, unless you call a good case of hysteria harm. But now there's another visitor to the apartment, Kurt Davies, who quickly raced up the stairs when he heard her cries for help.
I saw it. I saw it. So help me. I saw a gorilla. An ape. I don't know what you call it.
Sure you saw it, Amanda, but in a dream.
I know the difference between a dream and reality. It was a real gorilla. It broke the door in.
No, honey. I'm the one who busted in the door, remember? And first thing tomorrow, you've got to get a lock on it.
Kurt, please, listen to me. This was real. I know it was. This animal tried to get in here and kill me. When I started to scream, it went away.
Amanda, I didn't see any gorilla coming out of this place. I mean, wouldn't I have seen it, too?
Well, maybe it's hiding somewhere in the building. Maybe it has a hiding place.
This is really crazy.
Look, maybe that's what Vera saw. Maybe that's what she was horribly frightened about.
Amanda, have you ever searched this apartment?
Searched it? What for?
Well, maybe you'd find something. Letters, a diary, maybe.
Oh, Sarah never kept a diary.
It's worth a try, isn't it? Come on, let's look right now. I'll help you.
Why? Why should you want to help me?
Why not?
You don't really care what happened to my sister. You hardly knew her.
Maybe I didn't want to know her.
Why not?
What's the point of knocking?
No, tell me, please. Why didn't you like Vera?
I didn't like Roxanne because she called herself Roxanne when her name was Vera. I didn't like the way she spent her time looking for one kick after the other, even if it meant kicking somebody else in the teeth.
Was she really like that?
Look, it's late. Maybe you should go back to bed. We'll search the place another time.
No. You're right. You know, I should have done this before. Yeah, I remember seeing something in the bedroom, as a matter of fact.
See what?
It looked like an address book. Wait, I'll get it.
Maybe it is a diary. A record of all the kicks she got out of life.
No, it's an address book. There aren't too many names in it.
Let me see if I'm in it. No, guess I didn't make that much of an impression.
Do you recognize anybody's name?
Let's see. There's Tony's. That's the place where I work.
I thought you were only a guest bartender.
That's only temporary. Till my rich uncle in Argentina dies. That is, if I have a rich uncle. Wait a minute.
What'd you find?
Are you sure your sister was healthy?
Well, my father doesn't agree, but I think she was, yes.
I mean healthy in the head. Ever occur to you that the call she made to you that night was just... Well, that she might have been wigging out?
Oh, no. Look, I'm sure Vera wasn't crazy.
Well, the reason I ask is she has Dr. Swaley's number in her book.
Who?
Dr. Raymond Swaley. I've heard of him.
What kind of a doctor is he?
I suppose you could call him a shrink, but I think he calls himself a psychologist. If your sister Vera was all that together, would she be seeing someone like that?
I don't know.
How would you like me to see Dr. Swaley and ask him?
No, the name isn't familiar, I'm afraid. But I won't trust my memory. I have a book that my secretary keeps for me.
She might have called herself Roxanne Shepard.
It's a very neat alphabetical book. Miss Riegelman tends to be a little compulsive about her record keeping. I'll have to explore her subconscious one of these days. No, there's no one of that name who was my patient.
Maybe you knew her personally.
Oh, I'm quite sure I didn't.
Yeah, but your name was in her address book.
She might have heard about me.
You mean she might have taken down your name but never called you?
That's possible, isn't it?
I guess so.
How old did you say the girl was?
26.
Pity. And the cause of death?
They called it cardiac arrest, but her sister doesn't believe it. She insisted that an autopsy be performed.
Was it?
Yes.
And the result?
Negative. It was heart failure, all right.
Well, then, why isn't the lady satisfied?
Because she still thinks that people can die of fright. Pure and simple fright.
What's the use of my staying any longer, Kurt? I'm just packing up Vera's things and leaving.
You want me to help you?
No, I'm just taking everything that belonged to her, not even trying to sort it out.
Don't forget the stuff in the medicine cabinet. I'll bring it to you.
Most of the bottles are empty.
So I see, but this one isn't. What's this, Amanda?
Sleeping pills. I took one of them last night. Hey, wait a minute. Let me see that again. Kurt, look. The label.
How about it?
It says Dr. Swally.
What?
You said that Swally denied that Vera was his patient, yet he prescribed these sleeping pills.
Are you sure?
Well, see for yourself.
Well, what do you know? Now, why would he lie about something like that?
I don't know. He must be hiding something. And I have to know what it is.
Yeah, but how? If he lied to me once, he'll lie again.
Look, what if I went to see him?
But I told him about your being Vera's sister.
What if I didn't go there as Vera's sister? If I went as a patient? I'm so miserable all the time, Doctor. So depressed and nervous. I don't want to wake up in the morning. I want to go right on sleeping, hibernating from the world. Do you think you can help me?
Well, that all depends. How much do you know about my treatment?
Well, not really very much. Just that I've heard you've been able to help people.
But you must have also heard that my therapy isn't quite orthodox.
Well, no, I guess I've never heard of that.
Oh, don't be alarmed. Basically, I'm a Freudian. I believe in the theory of the subconscious, but I look at it slightly differently. I call the subconscious the dungeon of the human mind, the place where we hide all our guilty fears. The conscious mind tries to forget their existence, but they cry out and rattle their chains and make our lives miserable. Do you understand?
I think so.
Personally, I believe that fear is the true enemy of mental health. What I try to do for my patients is eliminate fear. We're all afraid of something, aren't we? Right now, you look as if you're afraid of me.
No, I'm really very interested.
It's one thing to know what we fear. Insects, mice, grizzly bears, high places. But many of our fears are so buried in our minds that we forget their existence. Do you ever have nightmares, Miss Lewis?
Yes. In fact, I had one just the other night. I dreamt that a gorilla tried to break into my apartment. It was so terribly real.
Are you especially afraid of gorillas?
I've never even thought about them, not since I was... For heaven's sake.
You were about to say, not since you were a child.
Yes, when I was a child, only 4 years old. I'd forgotten all about it.
But you remember now.
Yes, my father took me to the zoo. I was having a good time until he brought me to the gorilla cage.
And it frightened you?
Well, at first I was fascinated. I'd never seen anything like it before. So much like a man and not a man. So Daddy picked me up so I could get a better look. And it reached for me. It reached out for me. Oh, God, how could I have forgotten that? I screamed at the top of my lungs.
And just the other night you screamed again?
Yes. Isn't it incredible?
But don't you see what happened? You relived this fearful event of your childhood, what we call a traumatic experience. Now that you've done it, faced it, perhaps you've also uprooted it, along with other repressed fears.
Oh, I don't know about that. All I know is I was absolutely terrified.
Terrified, yes, but perhaps also purified. Miss Lewis, I'm sure you've heard of LSD, haven't you?
LSD? Oh, yes, of course. It's that drug that makes you see hallucinations.
No, it isn't the only drug, you know. There's mescaline, psilocybin, and a new derivative of LSD-25, which I've developed, known as EN30.
I don't understand.
Well, LSD is the chemical shorthand for lysergic acid and diethylamide. A very small amount can produce hallucinations of every form and variety. EN30 is rather different. It produces only one kind of hallucinatory affect. The affect of fear.
Fear?
Some people call it, incorrectly, the horror drug. It's a powerful hallucinogen. Dangerous when used carelessly, but extremely useful under controlled conditions. It goes right to the sub-basement of human consciousness and brings up images from the very place where fear begins, the dungeon of our minds.
You mean it makes people see the things that they're afraid of?
Yes, usually the things which frightened us when we were children.
And what makes it dangerous? The fact that we might be scared to death?
Oh, scared to death is a highly inexact term. But in certain cases...
In the case of a heart condition?
Oh, I would never administer the drug to anyone with such a history.
How long does the effect last?
Well, it varies greatly among individuals, but like LSD, the effect can often be cyclical. That is, the hallucinations can return on a cyclical basis, even if no EN30 has been taken for several days. This is one reason why controlled use is very important.
Dr. Swally, are you giving this drug to all your patients?
Oh, no, my dear. Only to a few, and under strictest supervision. And, of course, with their complete understanding and agreement.
I see. Yes, I really think I understand now, Doctor.
Listen, Amanda, do you know what you're saying? You're accusing Swally of being a criminal.
That's why he lied to you. He was afraid to admit that Vera was his patient because he gave her this horror pill of his. And she died.
Well, you don't know that for sure,
I
Amanda.
don't know it. He says he never gave anyone the pill except under controlled conditions. But he lied. He said he'd never give one of those things to someone with heart trouble, but he gave one to Vera.
Look, you're all worn out. You better get to sleep, and we'll talk about it in the morning.
I'm going to the police in the morning, Kurt. Will you go with me?
Amanda, I've already been to the police.
What?
I saw Lieutenant Duryea.
But why?
I've been worried about this undercover game you've been playing. So I talked to Duryea, told him about what you were doing and what you suspected.
And?
Duryea made a check of Swally's records, Amanda. He made it part of the routine police inquiry into your sister's death.
What are you trying to say?
Swally wasn't lying about it.
What?
He wasn't lying about your sister. She was never his patient.
The sleeping
They
pills.
must have belonged to one of your sister's roommates, or maybe she just swiped them from somebody else's house. Didn't you tell me that Vera was always swiping things?
Oh, Kurt. Then I'm wrong. It wasn't his fault.
That's the way it looks. If your sister was having nightmares, she was having them on her own.
Oh, it's so warm in here. It's too warm to sleep. I've got to open that window or I'll suffocate. It's so hard to open. Oh, there. Whew, that should help a little. What was that? Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord, something flew in here. It's right in my room. Ah! It's not a bird, it's a bat! It's trying to get in my hair! Ah! It's in my hair! It's all tangled up in my hair! Ah!
What is there about a bat which fills almost all of us with dread? Is it the cape-like wings, the rat-like face, the raking claws, the terrifying screech of their voices? Can anyone blame Amanda Shepard for the cry of horror she emits when that winged monster comes flapping into her room? Or was there really a bat? Was it only a creature of her imagination? Amanda Shepard has had another nightmare. A dream so vivid that she lies in her bed this morning in a state of shock, still unable to believe that the bat which flew into her room the night before isn't still entangled in her hair.
It may have been the heat, Amanda. This building is a real hot box when the weather turns warm.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe that's all it was. Maybe I had some kind of a heat stroke.
If you ask me, you ought to get out of this apartment right now. Maybe that's another reason you have bad dreams. This place is depressing you.
Yes, you're right. There's no point in my staying here anymore. The police have proved that, haven't they?
You just have to accept the truth. Your sister died because she died.
And I guess that means I should go back.
Doesn't mean you have to go back to Manassas Valley. Listen, have you ever thought of teaching right here in the city? We've got an awful lot of kids here who
No, Kurt. No, it's time for me to go home.
So the whole thing was a waste of time, wasn't it?
I suppose so, Dad.
I told you you've been stubborn, wasting 2 weeks on a wild goose chase.
Dad, don't you understand? Vera died without either one of us being there. She died all alone, in agony.
And whose fault was that? Who told her to leave home?
All right. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Oh, now you even sound like your mother. Whenever she didn't want to hear the truth, she'd ask me not to talk about it
We've
anymore.
said it all, haven't we? I'm going to bed early. I've been sleeping very badly lately.
Amanda, wait.
Yes, Dad?
Look, why does it have to be this way between us?
I don't know what you mean.
It's been like this for years. This wall of ice between you and me. What put it there? I've asked myself 1,000 times and I still don't know the answer.
Maybe you'll never know, Dad.
Oh, I know it started right after your mother died. That was when you turned against me. You and Vera both.
Oh, please, Dad. We'll discuss it some other time. I'm really too tired.
Oh, no, you'll never discuss it with me. You'll just go on hating me for the rest of your life.
I don't hate
I
you.
saw the look in your eyes the day your mother died. I saw the way you looked at me, Amanda.
I don't remember how I looked at you. How could I? I was in a state of shock.
You were in a state, all right. And you've never snapped out of it.
Please, Dad.
All right, go to bed. There's no use trying to reach you. Never been any use.
Hi, handsome. Hey, this is turning into a permanent job for you, isn't it?
I guess I'm just a natural-born bartender, that's all. What can I get you tonight?
Well, how about a Manhattan? Did you learn how to make one of those?
I'll give it a try.
Hey, how's your blonde friend these days?
Which one? I know half a dozen blondes.
You know the one I mean. The one who looks like a school teacher.
She is a school teacher.
No kidding. Now, where is she now?
Going back to teaching school, I guess.
Hey, you really liked her, didn't you? That's what I heard around.
I liked her. But she's strictly a small-town girl.
Is it true that she was Roxy's sister?
Tried.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? That Roxy Shepherd would have a sister like that. Hey, did you know that I was her last roommate?
What?
That's right. I paid half the rent on that filthy pad of hers. I couldn't stand her more than 1 week. She was stoned all the time, you know.
Yeah, I figured she hit the stuff pretty hard.
That girl would take anything, as long as there was a kick in it. She even went to some doctor just to get some kind of pill he was handing out.
What'd you say?
She heard about some nutty kind of LSD that a shrink was using on his patients. She told me she was going to see him and get some...
Hold it a second. Do you know the shrink's name?
No.
Was it Swally? Dr. Raymond Swally?
Well, how should I know?
Well, I've got to know.
How many times do I have to tell you I never had a patient by that name? If you don't believe me, ask the police.
All right, maybe you never had a patient named Shepherd, but maybe she didn't give you her right name, first or last.
I'm quite sure you're mistaken about this. I've only administered EN30 treatment to 4 patients. I can assure you this girl wasn't one of them.
Dr. Swally, will you just look at this photograph?
Oh, all right.
Now, look, does she look at all familiar?
Nope. I never treated her.
Look carefully. It's a professional portrait. She thought she wanted to be an actress, and she's pretty heavily made up.
Never saw this woman before.
Well, I guess I'm wrong. All right, Doctor. Sorry I bothered you again.
Wait. Just a minute.
Something come to you?
She does look familiar. She wasn't a patient, but I have seen her before.
Where?
Right here in my office. She came in without an appointment. That's why there was no record of her. She just sat outside and waited.
And did you see her?
Just for a few minutes. Just long enough to realize that she wasn't interested in therapy. All she wanted was the drug.
EN30.
I told her that I wouldn't accept her as a patient, that she wasn't nearly stable enough. I gave her a prescription for a mild sleeping compound, nothing else. But then...
Then what?
Well, I don't know this for certain. I could be mistaken about it.
About what, Doctor?
I always suspected that she might have been the one who stole those pills.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Vera Shepard stole some EN30 from you?
I can't prove it. It wasn't until days later that I missed them. I remember stepping out of the room for a few minutes to take a call from a hysterical patient.
Dr. Swally, Vera Shepard was a klepto. Her sister told me that she stole things all the time. If she stole those pills of yours...
Good Lord. Can it really be? The dosage was so large, too large for safety. If she took them, anything might have happened.
Something did happen. She had a nightmare, Doctor. She conjured up a nightmare so terrible that it killed her.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. You know that wasn't my intention.
Oh, wait a minute. You did say that you gave her a prescription for sleeping pills.
Yes, I did. I doubt that she ever filled it. It was the EN30 she really wanted.
Then what was in that bottle? What were the pills her sister took?
Her sister?
Dr. Swally, I've got to get to a telephone.
Hello?
Hello, is Amanda Shepard there?
Oh, yes, she's here, but she's asleep right now. Who is this?
Is this Mr. Shepard?
Oh, that's right. Can I take a message?
Mr. Shepard, you don't know me. I met your daughter in the city, but it's very important that I speak to her right away.
Well, I'm sorry, but I told you she's fast asleep.
Would you know if she's taken anything to help her sleep?
As a matter of fact, I thought I did see her take something. She's very
Listen,
tired.
Mr. Shepard, you've got to get a doctor for her right now. I know it sounds crazy, but if she took a pill that her sister was using, she may be in danger.
Well, wait a minute. What are you talking
Please,
about?
I'm driving out there, but your daughter may be in terrible danger right now.
Who is it? Who's there?
It's your father, Amanda. Let me in.
Dad? The door's open.
I can't open it, Amanda. You'll have to open it for me.
Oh, all right.
Why? I couldn't open the door, Amanda. I have your mother. I have to hold your mother.
Oh, God, she's bleeding. She's covered with blood.
I warned her, Amanda. I said I would kill her one day, and now I've done it. I've killed your mother. Now, it's all right, darling. It's all right, baby. It's okay now.
Oh, my God. Oh, Daddy.
It's just a dream, honey. Just a bad dream.
Daddy, please hold me. Don't let me go.
No, Amanda. No. I won't let you go.
That's what Dr. Swally told me himself, Amanda. He's discontinuing the use of EN30. Says it's far too dangerous to take any more chances with. Frankly, I think he's right.
Kurt, do you know what my sensation was?
What?
I saw my father walking into the bedroom, carrying my mother's dead body.
Ouch, that must have been pretty grim.
Well, the strange part is, it reminded me of something. Something I'd forgotten a long time ago.
What was that?
When I was a little girl, I used to hear my father and mother arguing downstairs. Fighting with each other night after night. Well, I was so afraid.
Well, it's understandable.
But you know what I was afraid of? I was afraid that my father was going to kill my mother.
That's an awful thought.
Well, it wasn't true, of course, but it was a fear that stayed with me all this time. But now I feel as if I can get rid of it. Kurt, I know it sounds crazy, but wouldn't it be something if it turns out that Dr. Swally had the right idea?
Well, personally, I don't think I would care very much for that kind of shock treatment. In fact, I think I'd rather have my neurosis and gorillas, bats, and so forth in my house. But to each his own, huh? Our cast included Kim Hunter, Mason Adams, Alan Hewitt, Ian Martin, and Phoebe Doran. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome once again to another adventurous journey across the mysterious and terror-filled terrain of the human imagination. The moving finger, the poet said, writes, and having writ, moves on. Not all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. Well, we seek no quarrel with the great Omar, but the fact is that anything written can be rewritten, even erased. It's all merely a matter of knowing the right people.
What do you need the money for?
To bet with.
It's immoral.
It's a way to make a fortune.
Besides, you can lose.
Oh, not me.
I've heard people say that before, on the way to the poorhouse.
Jerry, listen. I know who's going to win the World Series. I know who's going to be elected president next year. I know what stocks are going up.
You're crazy.
Just let me have the money, Jerry. I'll double it, quadruple it. There's no limit to what we can win. I know everything that will happen in the next 21 years. We can be the richest people in the world, Jerry. We can own the world.
Our mystery drama, Yesterday's Murder, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Mercedes McCambridge. It is sponsored in part by Contac, the 12-hour cold capsule, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. Admittedly, this is not the best of all possible worlds, but it's the only world we have at this point. And so there are times when we despair of the inequity and unfairness of so many things. But we should remember there is justice. Even though it may not always look that way, there is justice. And justice moves at its own pace, manifests itself in its own way. A way that is sometimes as obvious and dramatic as a bolt of lightning. Sometimes as silent, as unobtrusive as the fall of a leaf. But either way, justice will have been done, finally, irrevocably, and for all eternity. But let us begin our story, or rather continue, for who knows when any story really begins. At Ramiletti's, which is, as you know, a very chic, very exclusive watering place for the very wealthy.
May I get you something, madam?
Well, I'm expecting someone, so I'll just order a small... Why, it's Dottie. Dottie Malloy.
Hello, Jane.
Dottie, it can't be you.
Why not?
Well, because you look so old. Oh, I didn't mean that.
I suppose I do look old.
But you're just a year older than I am. You can't even be 40 yet.
I'm 2 years younger than you are, Jane. And I was just 43 last week. I didn't recognize you at first.
Have I changed that much in 20 years?
No, I was just so busy looking at the necklace and the earrings and the rings.
The diamonds are all genuine. But if you got them, wear them.
To answer your question, you haven't changed. You look exactly the same. Same as you did when we were both working at Waterfield and Prentice. Actually, you look better.
I don't suppose. But that is, I guess you're not allowed to sit down and talk to me.
No, I'm very happy for you, Jane.
Well, that's another thing. I can't say that I'm happy for you. How's
Harold?
Oh, yes, Harold.
He's fine.
Still as handsome as ever?
Handsomer.
What's he doing now?
Oh, you know what he's doing.
Yeah, I suppose I do. Still selling men's suits at Westing's.
No, not at Westing's, but at a place just like it. That's all he ever wanted to do. Is to wear smart clothes.
I want to apologize to you, Dottie.
What for?
Oh, for the way I hated you. For taking Harold away from me.
I couldn't take what you didn't have.
I know. Actually, you did me a favor.
Yes, I can see that I did.
I would have been stuck with Harold just as
I am.
Well, this way I made 3 fantastic marriages, each one wealthier than the last.
I'm glad for you.
Oh, Dottie, I want to cry.
Why?
Because I look at you and I remember how you used to be, how you sparkled.
Well, that's life.
No, it's not life. It's money. Or I should say not having money. Dottie, let me do something for you.
What?
Well, now, just don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way, Dottie. Let me give you some money.
No, Jane. Money can't help me.
Now, don't say...
Nothing can help me. That's the only way to put it. And I'm serious, Jane. The only thing I can say is that I'm under a curse.
Dottie, that's...
It's true. And I deserve it. So, what's your order?
Dottie? Is there any point in my saying that we should get together soon?
No. No, Jane, you know as well as I do, there is no point in your saying it.
Hey, you're late.
Yeah, I had to work dinner.
Oh, it's okay. I made myself a sandwich. You eat?
I'm not hungry.
Well, should you be...
No, maybe later.
Did anybody interesting come into the place today?
No, nobody.
I kind of wish I worked in a place where you could meet celebrities.
You don't meet them, Harold. You just wait on them.
Well, it sure give you something to talk about, wouldn't it? Hey, I'm glad I had a chance to see you before I left.
So where are you going?
Where am I? You haven't changed a single little bit in 20 years. You're still the greatest little kidder in the whole wide world.
I forgot. this Tuesday night.
Yes, indeedy, Dottie. It's Tuesday night, and old handsome Harold goes bowling for 17 years, man and boy, through rain and sleet and snow and hail.
Yeah, well, I think I'll go lie down.
Well, sure, honey. Why don't you do that? You look tired. And good night, honey.
Don't be too late.
You know, you always say that.
Good night.
I'll see you.
Huh? What? Oh, now what did he do? Forget his key? Look at me. I must have fallen asleep on the couch. All right. I'm coming. Honestly, Harold, the least you could do is take... Oh.
Good evening. Did I waken you?
Who are you?
I'm Mr. Carpenter. And you are Mrs. Malloy.
Yes. What do you want, Mr. Carpenter?
I should say, what do you want, Mrs. Malloy?
Well, you're the one who rang my bell.
Yes, because you sent for me.
I sent for you.
I'm from Opportunity Incorporated.
Opportunity Incorporated?
Why don't I come in? Thank you. I have a copy of your letter here.
My letter?
You don't recognize it?
Oh. You're the people who had that ad in the paper.
Precisely, Mrs. Malloy.
Well, what are you selling?
Nothing.
Well, let me put it this way. What will whatever you have to give away cost me?
Nothing.
Well, how do you stay in business? Whatever your business is.
We're a non-profit organization.
Well, then I don't understand.
A copy of our ad. See? Would you like an opportunity to change the course of your life? If so, write Opportunity Unlimited. You wrote, I'm here.
You know what it's about? What's it about? A job? Or a chance to go into a new business? I mean,
what do you want it to be?
Well, it's too late to change the course of my life.
It's never too late.
Well, you don't understand.
I think I do.
You see, something happened a long time ago.
21 years ago, to be exact.
Yes, that's right, and I...
And you think you're still being punished for it?
Wait a minute. How do you know...
I know everything.
What do you mean, everything? Who are you?
I told you. Mr. Carpenter, from Opportunity Unlimited. Now, on a certain evening, 21 years ago...
What? Wait... Which evening?
You know the evening. How can you ever forget it? You dream about it every night. You relive it in every nightmare.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you do.
How would I be able to remember some evening?
Let me refresh your memory. You were working for a brokerage house called Waterfield and Prentice. It was 9 o'clock at night. The entire building was empty, deserted, except for you. What were you doing there at 9 o'clock at night? What were you doing in Mr. Waterfield's private office? What were you doing taking money out of Mr. Waterfield's safe? Suddenly you turn ashy white with fear. You hear a door open, and it's old Jerry, the night watchman. And he asks you the very same question.
What are you doing at that safe, Dottie?
Oh, Jerry. Oh, you scared me. Well, you see, Mr. Waterfield called me. And he asked, could I come down here and take this money out of the safe? And,
No, Dottie. That ain't so. He didn't ask you nothing of the sort.
Oh, but I tell you, he...
Besides, you ain't supposed to know the combination. How'd you find the combination, Dottie?
Jerry, listen.
I know you were tempted, and I can understand that, Dottie.
I need this money. It's not just for me. It's to help somebody. Jerry, I'm not supposed to know the combination. Nobody could ever trace this to me.
Well, I guess not.
And it's only $20,000. What's $20,000 to old man Waterfield? He can afford to lose it. Look, Jerry, I'll give you some of it. $5,000.
No, Dottie.
I'm taking this money. You can't stop me.
I'll have to report you, Dottie.
I'll deny it. It's your word against mine. Enough people around here think you're getting senile anyhow. Now, Jerry, get out of my way.
I'll have to stop you, Dottie. It's my duty.
You're an old man, and I don't want to hurt you. Now, let go of me.
Put the money back.
Get your hands off me.
Put it back, Dottie, please. Dottie, put it. Put it.
Jerry, I didn't touch you.
It's my heart. I have pills in my shirt pocket. Give me a...
Jerry, don't. Jerry, please don't die. I'll put the money back, but please, Jerry. Oh.
But he did die. And you didn't put the money back.
What do you want? Did you come here to blackmail me?
Tell me, were you sincere? Would you really put the money back if you had another chance?
Yes. It would have saved Jerry's life if I'd done it when he asked me.
That's why I am here. To give you that opportunity to put the money back.
Put the money back? That money's been gone for years, $20,000. And I never had so much as a penny's worth of enjoyment out of it.
How would you like the chance to put the money back?
How can I put it back? I don't have it.
Would you like to have the chance to put it back while he was still asking you to do it?
What are you saying? What are you saying?
There can't be very much doubt about what he's saying. He's certainly saying it clearly enough. But can it be done? Even so, you certainly have to admit it isn't the kind of offer you get every day. Should she take him up on it? Would you? I shall return shortly with Act 2. They say you can't go back again. Once you leave a certain time and a certain place, it's gone forever. On the face of it, it sounds like an extremely sound rule. However, as everyone knows, every rule has its exceptions. And this is what a Mr. Carpenter seems to be discussing with Dottie Malloy.
What I'm saying, Mrs. Malloy, and I thought I was saying it clearly, is would you like to have the chance to put the money back when old Jerry asked you to?
But that's impossible.
I didn't ask you if it was possible. I asked you if you would like to have the chance to do it.
I know, I'm not asleep. I'm not dreaming all this.
No, you're wide awake. Well, your answer?
$20,000. That was a fortune. A fortune. I thought it would change my whole life.
And it did.
It made me an old woman long before my time.
I know.
I had to hide that money. I had to lie about every nickel of it. When Harold needed $5,000 to go into business, I made up a story of an aunt who died and left me them. But what's the difference? He went bankrupt anyhow. I bought stocks that dropped out of sight. I bet on horses. Some of them never even finished.
That's right.
It was as if there was a curse on that money. Well, you seem to know everything. Was there?
Well, let's say you should never have taken it.
Would my life have been different?
Yes.
Tell me how.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Without that murder on your conscience.
Don't call it murder. It was...
What was it? You would have looked at things differently, had a different attitude. Unless, of course...
Unless what?
Unless you happen to be a thief in your heart, in which case, one way or another, you'd wind up just about the way you are now. A failure filled with remorse.
I'm not a thief. I wasn't... I never stole anything in my life until...
Well, you probably never had the opportunity.
Don't say that.
I have to say that because there's no point in giving you a chance to make amends if in the end you do the same thing all over again.
Do you think I'd... Oh, Lord. to get one night's sleep, to lose the sight of that old man's face, I would give my soul.
You don't have to give anything.
Money. Once I thought it was everything. Oh, look what it did to me. I hate it. I don't want it. Please, give me that chance. Give me that chance. Oh, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I must be crazy. Somehow, a stranger comes into my house, and somehow he found out a secret about me. And for some reason which I can't understand, he chooses to amuse himself.
I admit this is shocking to you. But there's one way to prove that I'm serious and you're not crazy. Go back.
Go back? 21 years?
Yes.
I'm afraid.
Afraid? Afraid to be young again? Afraid to have another chance, another lifetime?
How would a thing like this work?
It's very simple. You agree to go back for the express purpose of rectifying an unfortunate action that you committed under stress. You are given an opportunity to do it.
And then, do I come back here to the present?
That's difficult to say. You're going back there. Here won't happen for another 21 years. So, where here is going to be will depend on the new life you'd make for yourself.
Well, what have I got to lose? My wonderful job, this beautiful apartment, my intelligent husband. I'm ready.
A word of caution. If you don't put that money back...
Oh, how can you even bring that up? That's what I'm going back there for, isn't it?
Well, I would just like to warn...
You don't have to warn me about anything. You just sold me. Now, how do we do it? Oh, listen to me. I must be crazy. I really believe what you're saying.
Now that you understand, come with me.
Where?
For a walk.
At this hour?
When we get downstairs, it won't be this hour.
But I'm not dressed to go walking.
You're not dressed for 21 years ago either. But don't worry. It will all adjust itself. Come.
But
Well?
Harold. He'll come back. He'll worry.
No, he won't. Once you walk out of here, this place no longer exists.
I'm scared.
That's perfectly natural. Don't be afraid. Come. Here, hold my hand. Now come with me. Come. We'll walk downstairs and into the street. Come.
It's day. It's daylight. How did it get to be daylight? It was just 9:30 at night. How did it get to be... Oh!
Now, don't be alarmed. Please.
But look at the cars. Look at them. Those cars are 20 years old. All those cars.
They're brand new.
And they're Snyder's. That's Snyder's coffee shop across the street. We used to go there for lunch. All of us from the office. But they tore it down 10 years ago. They built a new...
You've gone back, Dottie. Don't you understand? You're not Dottie Malloy. You're still Dottie Sandy.
Look at my dress. And these shoes. I threw these out long ago. No, I didn't. I remember...
You wanted to go back, Dottie. Go back.
Yeah, I feel so...
Young?
Yes, that's it. I feel young. But tell me, why do I remember everything that takes place for the next 21 years? Why do I know that?
Because you're not all the way back yet. Until that money is returned to the safe, your new life hasn't really begun.
Well, then let me go and return it. What are we waiting for?
It's only 9:30 in the morning. You have to wait till 9 o'clock tonight.
Oh. Well, what am I going to do until then?
Go through the day, just as you did last time.
No, I'd like to change some of the things I did last time.
You can only change one of them. The thing you did 9 o'clock at night. Say, we can't stand around here all day. You're late for work, and you know what a bear old Mr. Waterfield is. Well, goodbye, Daddy.
Goodbye?
Yes, goodbye.
But when will I see you again, Mr. Carpenter?
Never.
Never?
Never. Unless, of course, you don't live up to our bargain.
Then I guess this is goodbye.
Goodbye, Dottie, and good luck.
Dottie.
Hi, Jane.
You're 40 minutes late.
I know.
Old Waterfield is having a 14-carat fit. Honestly, he's given me such a headache. Oh, there he goes again.
I'll get it. Yes, Mr. Waterfield.
Well, where have you been?
I just got back, Mr. Waterfield.
From where? Oh, never mind. Come in here.
I'm so glad you're here, Dottie. He makes me ill.
Well, why don't you go lie down?
All right.
If you don't feel any better, go on home.
Oh, but Harold's taking me to dinner tonight.
No, he isn't.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he isn't. If you don't feel well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I have to quit this job. That Mr. Waterfield, he makes me so nervous. I just wish Harold would ask me to marry him.
Just a minute. Now repeat that combination slowly. 12 left, 12 right, and a round to 0 twice. Yeah, I got it. Why do they always have to change the things? You know, sooner remember one combination at Miss Sanders. Dottie!
I'm right here, sir.
Oh.
I was just coming in the door.
Now make a note. I want Kelly to pick up 5,000 shares of International Motors at the market.
International Motors?
That's what I said.
But wasn't there a big scandal?
Scandal? What scandal?
Yes, they went bankrupt. And the president, Abner Stilson, went to jail.
Sanders, have you taken leave of your senses?
Excuse me, sir. What year is this?
Well, now I know there's something wrong.
Oh, that's right. It hasn't happened yet, and it won't for about it. I'm sorry, sir.
Dottie, I have enough problems with that flighty one outside, that Jane. Now, don't you go haywire on me, too.
I'm sorry, sir.
Now, I want Peters to buy 2,000 shares of Midwest Steel. That is, if you approve.
Midwest Steel? Sir, that's a...
That's a what?
That's a sleeper. That'll go to...
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. I'm just feeling... Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of wild this morning.
Well, maybe you better see a doctor.
No, sir, I'm all right. I'm just very happy.
About what?
Oh, about everything.
Hi, Dottie.
Oh, hi, Harold. Jane isn't here.
I know.
She just wasn't feeling well, so she went home.
I know. I didn't come to see Jane.
Oh?
I came to see you.
Me?
How about lunch?
Oh, now look, Harold.
You have to eat, don't you? And I have to eat, and I happen to be in the neighborhood.
When Jane happens to be my best friend.
I like her, too.
I don't do things that way.
Tell you what, I'll really splurge. I'll take you to Ramoletti's.
I'm sorry, Harold.
What time do you go out?
12:45.
Meet you downstairs.
Yeah, I think I'll have the...
Now, don't go looking for the cheapest thing on the menu.
Boy, even the cheapest thing is practically out of sight.
Dottie, you know what bothers me?
What?
That you're impressed by a place like this.
Well, it's very expensive.
It's only money, and it's all you need to eat here. Actually, it's all you need to go anywhere. Do anything. Money.
Yeah, well, I never had any money.
I never did either, but I'm going to. I'm not going to be a salesman all my life. I intend to own a place.
Well, sure.
Well, there are plenty of good locations, and I know how to sell.
Yeah, you do have a wonderful personality, Harold.
No reason why I shouldn't be on my own. Well, there is a reason.
What's that?
Well, you can even sing it. Do, re, mi. Yes, indeed, Dottie. The good old cabbage leaves.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
Yeah, all it takes is a few thousand, 5, 6 maybe, to get set up. Well, let's enjoy the here and now. Why don't you try the rack of lamb?
Where is it? Oh, Harold, that cost $12.
It's delicious. I'm going to have it.
Yeah, but 12 for you and 12 for me, that's... Just for lunch, it adds up to...
It adds up to 0, Dottie. 12 and 12 are 0.
What? What did you say?
Nothing.
No, what did you say? About 12 and 12.
I said 12 and 12 add up to 0.
12 left, 12 right, and around to 0 twice.
What are you saying, Dottie?
What am I saying? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. But I think I will have the rack of lamb after all.
Great. Did you ever have it before?
Sure, once.
Where?
Here.
Here? I thought you said you never ate here.
Well, I did. And I didn't.
You say the craziest things.
I know.
I think that's why I've fallen in love with you. How was the rack of lamb?
It's not so hot.
Well, in that case, let's not have it.
No. We must.
What are you saying?
I'm saying we can't change anything. Just yet.
So far, it's all on schedule. The day runs its course, just as it did 21 years ago. Dottie was late to work. She overheard the boss muttering the combination of the office safe. She stole her best friend's boyfriend. Stole may be a harsh word, but here we deal in realities. Realities so real that they can be considered fantastic. We'll find out how she handles the rest of the day when I return shortly with Act 3. Sometimes you get a chance to do it all over again. Sometimes. And you know exactly how to handle the situation this time. There's absolutely no way to commit that fatal blunder. Because this time, you are forewarned, forearmed. You have foresight. How could you possibly do it wrong?
Oh. Hello, Harold?
No, it isn't Harold.
Mr. Carpenter. Harold was supposed to call me. He did last time.
And he will again.
And will I go to dinner with him?
Yes.
And do I have to go through that situation with Jane again?
You know you do. And then you must come back here to...
Oh, yes, I know. And I will.
The only reason I called was to wish you luck.
Oh, I don't need any luck.
Remind you of what it is you have to do.
And I have every intention of doing it.
I'd better hang up, because even now Harold is dialing your number to ask you to dinner. Goodbye, Dottie.
Why, from Rampoletti's to Snyder's, all in one day.
I have to admit the food's much cheaper here.
Yeah, well, I think it's better.
No, I have to improve your tastes.
Harold, what were you saying about going into business?
Was I saying anything about...
Yeah, at lunch.
Oh, I always talk that way. It's just talk. Where could I ever get the kind of money it takes to...
Well, you could save it.
I don't make enough.
Well, still, you could put it aside.
Oh, sure, but you have to be the saving kind, and that's just not me.
Yeah, but if you did have the money, well, just suppose...
You mean, like, just suppose the moon is made out of green cheese?
No, suppose.
If I had it? Oh, that'd be a brand new ball game. I'd open my own store. I'd know what styles to buy. I know how to handle my customers. Oh, Dottie, I could make a fortune.
I believe you would.
Well, look, I don't do too badly now. I'm still the best salesman old man Westing has. I make enough to...
To what?
Well, listen to me. I have no trouble selling a suit of clothes, but I have all kinds of trouble selling myself.
Well, don't oversell, Harold.
Huh?
I mean, you just about closed the deal.
Dottie.
No, don't. Don't kiss me, Harold, please.
But don't you realize what you just said?
Yeah, I know. But first, I have to talk to Jane.
Jane? Why?
Well, because she...
Dottie, I just dated Jane now and then. I never gave her any reason to think that there was...
I'm sure you didn't, but she seems to think so, and that's the same thing.
But, look...
No. I really feel I owe her an explanation.
I thought you were my friend.
Jane.
Yeah, I see it all now.
Jane, there isn't anything to see except the truth. We just happened to fall in love with each other.
Oh, take him. Take him in good riddance. He's just a phony. Big, good-looking, but not a brain in his head. You'll never get anywhere, you'll never be anybody, and you'll never have anything. You'll wind up supporting him.
Oh, no, Jane. It's for the best. I know it's for the best. You don't see it now, but you will later.
I never want to see you again. Now, don't stand there. Get out.
All right, Jane. All right.
Daddy, please, for your own sake, give him back to me. Daddy, look at you, so pretty and so smart. You could do so much better than Harold. Don't let him ruin your life.
Me?
What's the matter?
I know. I'm just plain Jane.
He's good enough for me, but he's not good enough for you.
I know.
You know? Well, then why?
I can't help it, Jane. I can't help it.
Did you tell her?
Yes, I told her.
Was it bad?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's nobody's fault.
Well, look, it's still early enough. How about a movie?
Harold, could you really make a go of it?
Make a go of what?
Your own business?
Well, sure, but that's just a wild dream.
The wildest dreams can come true.
We're so serious tonight. Let's see a funny movie.
Harold, could you make a go of your own business? I have to know.
Well, the answer is sure. I could make $1 million. All I need is the chance. Now, how about that movie?
No. I want to go home. I have a headache.
Sure you just want to go to sleep?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's been such a great day. I hate to see it end.
Well, I guess I'm just overexcited. After all, a girl doesn't get a proposal every day.
Why don't I come by for you in the morning? We'll have breakfast and lunch and dinner. And maybe in between we can get married.
And very soon I want my family to come in from the West Coast.
I'll be by bright and early in the a.m. Are you happy?
Yes.
You're beautiful, Dottie. See you, Angel.
Taxi! Would you take me to the Waterfield Prentice Building, 12th and Main? Right. 12 left. And around to 0. Twice. And I'm right. It opens.
What are you doing at the safe, Dottie?
Jerry? Oh, Jerry, you scared me. Well, you see, Mr. Waterfield called and asked me if I could take this money to...
Now, that ain't so, Dottie. He didn't ask you nothing of the sort.
But I tell you, he did.
Besides, you ain't supposed to know the combination. How'd you happen to learn the combination?
Well, I...
Well, what's the difference? You were tempted. I can understand that, Doc.
Jerry, I need this money. It's not just for me. It's to help somebody. And it's only $20,000. What does $20,000 mean to old man Waterfield? Listen to me, Jerry. I'll give you some of it. Here, take $5,000.
No, Dottie. No.
Why don't we split it?
Put the money back. Lock the safe. And we'll both forget about tonight.
No. I'm taking this money.
Put it back, Dottie.
Well, of course, I'll put it back.
Now you're talking sense.
After all, that's what I came back here for.
You'll be happier in the long run. That's the kind of money that never brings anything good. This way, you'll always have your peace of mind.
Sure.
You're being smart, Dottie.
Jerry, listen to me. I'm not really going to take this money.
No?
No. I'm just going to borrow it. And you're right, I was a stupid, immature kid that last time. But not this time, Jerry. This time. Do you know what I know?
Now listen, Dottie.
This time, I know all the stuff. stocks that are going to go up. All the horses that are going to win. Listen, this year, the Sox are going to win the pennant.
Now I know you're crazy.
The Sox are going to come from nowhere to win it 100-1.
Dottie, you're out of your mind.
And Sweet Reward is going to win the Derby. And there's a stock, Midwest Deal. If you get in on it right now, Jerry, I know so many things.
Dottie, just put the money back.
Yeah, I will, Jerry, I will.
Right?
No, not right now. Tomorrow. I just want to borrow it for 1 day.
Please, Dottie, I don't want you to get into trouble.
I need the cash just for a few hours. Jerry, you and I will be millionaires. Please trust me, believe me.
Put it back,
Get out of my way.
I'll have to report you.
I'm not stealing it. I'll put it back tomorrow. Tomorrow night, you'll see.
Dottie, right now, there's no harm done yet.
Let go of me.
Please, Dottie, I'm trying to help you.
Don't get your hand
I
off.
have to stop you, Dottie. It's
I'm
my
not
job.
stealing this money. Don't you understand? I'm not stealing it.
Put it back. Put it back.
I don't want to hurt you, Jerry. You're an old man.
Money back, please.
Jerry, I have this gift. I can see into the future. You'd be able to retire.
Put it back.
I will.
My heart.
Jerry.
In my pocket. My shirt pocket.
What?
I've got pills.
Oh, please, don't die on me. Please don't die. Jerry.
I'm afraid he's...
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes, Mr. Carpenter.
Well, I didn't kill him. He died of a heart attack. You saw it.
Yes, I saw and I heard everything. Well, now we take a dim view of this sort of thing at Opportunities Unlimited. We do indeed.
Well, don't you see what I was trying to do for him? I had to give him an opportunity to better himself.
But that was not our agreement. You had agreed to put the money back.
What? What are you going to do to me?
I won't do anything to you.
I'll put the money back right now.
Where will you put it?
In a safe on the wall.
In which safe? On what wall?
It's dark. How did it get so dark? What happened to the lights?
No, you can keep the money.
I can keep the money?
Certainly. For all the good it will do you.
Oh, it'll do me plenty of good now. Now I know how to use it. I can do things that... Where are the lights?
The lights?
Yes, where are the lights? And what's that noise?
The lights, as you know, they won't be invented for at least 1,000 years.
What?
The noise, well...
Where am I? Where am I?
I would say you're on the southern coast of England. The year is 874.
How could I go back to 874?
You're hiding in a tiny hut. The noise is that of a Viking raid.
Oh.
The village is burned, looted. There's quite a bit of murder, robbery, rape.
Why, what are you saying?
That's how things were in those days. Besides, why worry? You have money. Those pretty little pieces of green paper.
Will they kill me?
I don't know.
Oh, please. Please, Mr. Carpenter.
They don't kill everybody. And you've got $20,000 in good American money.
Oh, please save me. They're right outside.
You've got $20,000, Dottie. Let's see you buy your way out of this trap.
Dottie was lucky in one sense. The chief of the Viking raiders was Eric the Red. He had an eye for pretty ladies. So instead of killing her, he kept her for himself. So, basic relationships didn't really change. Instead of keeping house for Harold Malloy, she kept house for Eric the Red. And talking about houses, don't you leave the house till I come back shortly. Can you go all the way back and forth in time? Before you answer no, consider. Practically all of you have already done it. How, you ask? Well, Don't you set your clocks for daylight savings time? But that's only an hour. Sure. But it's the principle. Remember, the greatest oak was once a tiny acorn. Our cast included Mercedes McCambridge, Patricia Wheel, Robert Maxwell, and Leon Janney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
Raphael, why did you leave the stage after the Chopin?
I can't go on, Lottie.
After performing a miracle, you can't go on. The entire audience is on its feet calling for you, and you can't go on.
After what just happened?
What did happen out there, Mr. Klein?
It was as if... Oh,
well, go on. Tell me. What happened to you?
Well, some force suddenly gripped my right arm, began to pull my hand, my right hand, off the keyboard. I didn't know what was happening to me. I thought I was having some sort of seizure, or I was going mad, or I don't know what.
And then?
My left hand kept playing.
You mean you kept playing with your left hand?
No, Lottie, no. My right arm. It was forced down to my side, and I was scared. I was so scared I couldn't have gone on playing with my left, and I didn't. It did.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
And now, Mystery Theater.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Come in, settle down, and listen. For we're about to tell you a very important story. Have you ever looked at your children and wondered, what in the world are they thinking? What goes on in those tiny minds? You don't know, do you? Admit it. You haven't the faintest idea. Yet you were once a child. So why don't you know? I'll tell you why. You have forgotten. And try as you will, you simply cannot remember what it was like to be a child. I don't know the reason for this, but perhaps it's because being a child is not always the happy thing we think it is.
Didn't you mind being shut up in that dark room, Bobby? All by yourself for such a long time?
Was it a long time?
3 weeks.
Is that a long time?
What did you do, Bobby, all alone there?
Oh, listen to the silence. Talk to the dark.
Our mystery drama, The Secret Life of Bobby Deland, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elspeth Eric and stars Michael Tolan. We said earlier that this story is an important one, not because our small hero is an important figure. A boy of 10? How much time has he had to achieve importance in our world? No, we call our story important because it is our attempt to explore the inner life of one small child. An attempt which we admit may be awkward and incomplete because we have grown up, and in growing up, grown stupid.
All right now, children, playtime's over. Everybody inside. Go with Miss Hamill and Mr. Garth.
Now we can talk better. Well, Mr. Collins, have you finally made up your mind about adoption?
I don't know that we want to go that far, Mrs. Appleton. Not just yet. You see, I thought if my wife and I could take one of the children home for or month, 2 months, see how it worked out. You see, our son died in an automobile accident a year ago. And Mrs. Carlin hasn't been really right since. Depressed, migraine, headaches, spends a good deal of time in bed. And I thought if there were a boy around the house, it might help her. Help me, too.
You've been here several times. You've met all our children.
There's one. I believe his name is Bobby. About 10 years old.
Bobby Deland?
That's the one. I looked for him today when I was walking around the playground. I didn't see him. He's still here, isn't he?
Bobby's still here.
Oh, thank goodness. He's such an unusual boy. I'm surprised he wasn't asked for before this.
He was. Last year. It didn't work out.
Can you tell me why?
I can do better than that. I have a tape of the interview with the lady who tried to give him a home. It's a practice here to make tapes of the conversations with prospective parents. It saves confusion, possible embarrassment later, if there's trouble. Oh, you're being taped right this minute, Mr. Carlin. I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
All right. Now, look, I won't play it all for you, just the part that concerns us now.
And we did everything we could think of to make Bobby happy, Mrs. Appleton. He seemed happy. There wasn't any way we could guess that he didn't like it with us. And then to wake up one morning and he was gone. Simply gone.
I'm sure you did everything you could.
Oh, we did. And he seemed to like us. Of course, he's naturally so sweet, so good. Except for the stealing.
The what? The stealing?
Oh, look, I shouldn't call it stealing. We'd find little things missing. Little nothings. Once it was a frying pan. A wooden spoon one time. Oh, we found them later. In his room. Once he took the belt from one of my dresses. A leather belt. Not that I cared.
That's enough of that. But I should tell you, Bobby's been guilty of petty pilferage like that here at the orphanage. A hairbrush belonging to one of the teachers. And
Where did he go when he ran away?
Well, the police found him that same night, wandering along a country road. There was a full moon. They had no trouble. And when the woman came to pick him up, he wouldn't talk to her. Wouldn't even see her. Didn't seem to hold anything against her. He just said it was no use.
No use?
It's what he always says.
Before?
Several times during the last couple of years. Look, I'm telling you all this to let you know that if you take Bobby into your home, you're not getting the usual child.
No child is the usual child, Mrs. Appleton.
Well, shall we go and have a talk with him? See how he feels about all this?
By all means.
Oh, I should tell you, Bobby's in confinement.
You don't mean solitary?
He's confined to one room without lights or windows. I know that sounds severe, but
it does.
We've tried everything else. Even corporal punishment, though that's prohibited by law. It didn't do any good. He doesn't seem to feel it.
How long has he been confined?
Oh, nearly 3 weeks now.
Mrs. Appleton, 24 days is supposed to be the limit before the victim goes mad. That's been established in prisons with grown men. Bobby's a boy.
A most unusual boy. Shall we go talk to him?
Please.
This way.
Mrs. Appleton, may I ask you, what is Bobby being punished for? What did he do?
Oh, didn't I tell you? He ran away from the orphanage. That's the only thing he ever needs to be punished for. Running away.
Mrs. Appleton, when Bobby ran away from here, was it at night?
Middle of the night, as near as we could tell. Oh, here we are.
Was there a full moon that night?
I don't recall. Does it matter?
It might.
Oh, here's my key. Bobby? It's Mrs. Appleton, Bobby.
Yes, Mrs. Appleton.
He's all right.
You can come out now, Bobby. The door's open. Can you see?
Yes, I can see Mrs. Appleton.
Does the light bother your eyes?
Not very much.
You remember Mr. Carlin, Bobby.
It's nice to see you.
I'm very well, Bobby. Thank you.
I'm going back to the office now, and you two can have a nice talk.
Thank you.
You can join me there later, Mr. Carlin.
Well, Bobby, I'm pleased you remember me. Didn't you mind being shut up in that dark room all by yourself for such a long time?
Was it a long time?
3 weeks.
Is that a long time?
What did you do all alone in there?
Oh, I listened to the silence. Talked to the dark.
I see. Would you like to come and stay with me and my wife for a while? See if you'll like it. We have a big house.
A very big house?
Well, pretty big.
With servants?
We have servants, yes.
And beautiful gardens and a big green lawn?
Well, does it matter if it's a big house with a lawn?
A big white house.
And servants, does that matter?
I don't know. I thought it did. I could sort of see it.
Well, what do you say? Would you like to visit with us for a while?
I think I would.
There's a good school nearby if you'd like to go.
I'm tired of memorizing things.
Well, whatever you say. Now, why don't you go pack some clothes, and I'll go see Mrs. Appleton in her office and make the arrangements.
Come in.
Mrs. Appleton, that's a remarkable child.
Oh, close the door, will you, Mr. Carlin?
Oh, yes.
You've persuaded him?
I'm convinced the reason Bobby can endure, even enjoy 3 weeks of confinement is because he's able to hypnotize himself. And not only hypnotize himself, but put himself into a deep trance. Almost anyone can be hypnotized, but only 1 in 20 can hypnotize himself. And I've never heard of anyone who could put himself into a deep trance state.
Well, supposing he can, what's the advantage of it?
Why, it means that he can reach his unconscious mind and perhaps unite it with his consciousness. A terribly difficult thing to do. And to do it alone without any outside help, I never thought it was possible.
Well, supposing he can do whatever it is you say he can, what of it?
Mrs. Appleton, do you know what powers are locked in the unconscious? What forces, what instinctive knowledge, primitive memories?
I've always thought of the subconscious as an untidy mass of very unpleasant emotions.
It is untidy, but we've been taught the emotions are unpleasant because they lack morality and purpose, as indeed they do. Their only purpose being to express themselves.
Most of us manage to live without expressing ourselves, Mr. Carlin.
Yes, but supposing you find one solitary human being who refuses to live that way.
You mean Bobby? Well, Mr. Carlin, if he's willing to go with you and you want him, I've checked you out and everything's in order. Oh, one thing, Mr. Carlin, I hope you're not going to talk to Bobby about his mother.
Why not? Why shouldn't he talk about his mother if he wants to?
Well, it's not really healthy in his case. He makes up outrageous stories about her.
Such as what?
Oh, that she was fantastically beautiful, that she married into royalty, a prince or a duke.
Oh, children often fantasize that way.
Last year he told us that she was a movie star, imagine.
Who was she really?
Oh, just a poor, pathetic woman on relief. I found that out from our records. I wasn't here when she brought him, but that was 6 years ago. He was only 4.
They're unpleasant.
The records say she simply couldn't afford to keep him.
She's never been back?
Never been back. Never called to see how he was getting along. Never sent him a present or even written him a note. Come in. Oh, Bobby. All packed to go home with Mr. Carlin?
He has a big white house, Mrs. Appleton, with a big lawn and flowers and lots of servants. Haven't you, Mr. Carlin?
Yes.
I'm sorry about your wife.
What? What about my wife?
I'm sorry she's so unhappy. Didn't you tell me she's unhappy and sick sometimes?
I don't think I did.
You must have. Or how would I know?
Do we really know only what we've been told? Or what we've read? Or heard? I hate to believe that, because then each of us is only a jumbled mass of information. And very often, we go about spreading this jumbled information for others to pick up and repeat. No wonder the world is in such a turmoil, if all we know is what we've been told by people who only know what they've been told, who only know what... Oh, no, there must be more. We can't go on this way. However, having no solution at hand, I shall return shortly with Act 2. When one adopts a boy 10 years old, it is not only the 10-year-old boy who has been taken into the new home, it is also the boy who was once 9, once 8, once 7, and so on, clear back to the day an infant was born. And these early years are unknown, utterly unknown to the new parents. Just how unknown they are to the child is the subject of our story.
We're almost there, Bobby.
I know.
You know?
Well, I figured.
You mean you felt it, that we were almost there?
Something like that, I guess.
Mental telepathy, maybe?
What's that?
Well, thought transference. I was thinking to myself, we're almost home, and the thought transferred itself to your mind. Is that what happened?
I wasn't thinking about anything at all.
It's when we're not thinking about anything at all that the thoughts of other people enter our minds.
I'd like to think about that.
Well?
I think that's very true, what you said, Mr. Carlin. It's when you're not thinking about anything at all. That's when the good things happen.
What good things, Bobby?
Oh, all the good things. Mr. Carlin, you should have turned right there.
No, that's Birch Tree Road. We live on a street...
You should have turned there. Go back.
Hey, Bobby, take it easy.
Go back.
Bobby, I know where I live, and I know how to get there. Your telepathy wasn't in good working order that time. Now, here is where we turn. To the left. We go about a quarter of a mile up this road, and then we're there.
It's pretty.
Is it what you expected?
Kind of. It smells nice.
You smell something?
It smells sweet. Very, very sweet.
I don't smell anything. Oh, we're coming to the privet hedge. That's the sweet smell. Imagine you picking it up way back there. Now we're coming to the house.
It is white.
I told you it was.
And there's a lawn in front with flowers.
I told you there would be. Well, here we are.
But it's not a very big house.
It has 16 rooms.
And where are all the servants?
Did you sleep well in your new room, Bobby?
Yes, I did. It's a very nice room.
Nicer than the orphanage?
That was nice. But this is nicer.
This morning, Bobby, I want to take you to meet my wife. Her name is Anita, if you want to call her that. I think I should tell you she gets migraine headaches from time to time.
I know. I knew she was sick sometimes. I think she's sick now.
No, she's not. I saw her this morning. She was fine. Come on, let's go upstairs.
Okay. It's not very nice to be sick like that, is it?
No, it certainly is not.
I used to have asthma. That was terrible.
What did you used to do about it?
Oh, I made it stop.
Made it stop? Just like that?
Sort of. It was a long time ago.
Here we are. Anita, may we come in, dear? Come on. Anita, this is Bobby.
Go away, please.
She's sick.
My dear, is it another migraine?
Please. I can't...
Bobby, we'd better come back later.
She's sick.
You'll meet her tomorrow. Come on.
Mrs. Carlin, I'm here. I know how much it hurts, but I want you to know I'm here. And I want it to stop hurting.
Please.
Try to look at me, Mrs. Carlin.
Bobby, don't. When she's like this, it's no use.
I want you to give me your headache, Mrs. Carlin. I want you to give it to me. Look, Mrs. Carlin. Anita, look. Give me your headache. I want to take it away from you. I'm going to take it away from you. Do you hear me? I'm going to take it. You're going to give it to me. I'm going to take it. Yes, I'm taking it. You're giving it to me. You're giving me your headache, aren't you? Yes, you are. I know you are. Please give it to me. All of it. Yes. Oh, please. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. It's gone. All gone.
Bobby? Bobby, where are you going?
It's all right. All right.
Bobby?
I couldn't help Mr. Garland. I had to throw up.
Well, that's all right, son. That's all right.
How is Mrs. Carlin?
She says her headache is gone.
Yes. Of course it's gone. She gave it to me.
And how are you?
I think I'm going to be all right pretty soon. I never knew before what a migraine headache was like. Now I know.
Mrs. Appleton speaking.
This is George Carlin, Mrs. Appleton. I've got great news for you.
Everything's working out?
3 weeks now, and everything's going wonderfully. He seems very happy here, and heaven knows he's made us happy. My wife hasn't had another headache since that time I wrote you about when Bobby cured her.
You think he really did?
Well, he did something to Mrs. Carlin. Perhaps he hypnotized her, I don't know. But her headache stopped. I was there. I saw it happen.
Well, I have to take your word for it, Mr. Carlin. Has he stolen anything that you know of?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you'd better check.
There's a belt of mine missing, but I'm sure I must have mislaid it.
Look in his room.
No, I wouldn't dream of doing that. The boy is happy here, and we're happy having him here.
Has he talked about his mother?
No, he hasn't mentioned her.
Well, my advice is to keep it that way.
I don't think I agree with that, Mrs. Appleton.
You know what I told you. All you'll get from him is a lot of wild fantasy.
At this point, I feel I'd like to hear anything Bobby cares to tell me.
Well, if you don't want to take my advice...
No, it's not that, Mrs. Appleton. It's that for the time being, I'd sort of like to follow my own instincts. You understand?
I suppose so.
I'll keep in touch with you.
Please do, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Oh, Bobby, I didn't hear you come in. That was Mrs. Appleton I was talking to on the phone.
How is she?
She's fine. Do you miss her?
Not too much.
Bobby, you know that black-tooled leather belt of mine?
Yes, I know that belt.
I can't find it. Have you seen it?
It's in my room.
Well, did I leave it there, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so.
By any chance, Bobby, did you take it out of my room?
I guess I did. I'm pretty sure I did. You want me to go get it?
Oh, you can have it if you really want it. Only I'd rather you'd ask me instead of just taking it.
But I don't want it.
No?
It's too big for me. Why would I want it?
I don't know.
I just saw it, and it reminded me of something.
Reminded you of what?
I was going to give it back to you. I didn't mean to keep it. I didn't even want it.
All right now. It's all right. Just put it back in my room when you get a chance, will you?
I'll put it right back now.
No, in the morning we'll be all right. Bobby, do you ever feel you want to talk to me about your mother?
My mother?
Do you remember her at all? I know you were only 4 when she left you at the orphanage.
She was very, very beautiful.
What else?
I'm not supposed to talk about my mother.
Well, don't you want to?
Not now, Mr. Carlin.
All right. But if you ever want to, I'm here, you know.
I know.
George? George? Oh, what are you doing up? Can't you sleep?
Not for hours.
Oh, the moon is so bright. I don't wonder.
No, it's not just the moon. I was thinking about Bobby.
Oh, funny. I was thinking about him, too.
I talked to Mrs. Appleton this afternoon. She asked me, did Bobby ever talk about his mother?
He never does.
That's what I told her. And she said, fine, keep it that way. But I said I didn't agree, that I thought he should talk about whatever he felt like talking about.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Bobby came into the room about that time, and I brought up the subject of his mother. And all he'd say was, she was very, very, very beautiful.
That's all?
I tried to get him to go on, but he just clammed up, said I'm not supposed to talk about her.
Mrs. Appleton probably told him not to.
She has a point in a way. She says Bobby makes up wild stories about his mother, whom he hasn't seen or even heard from in 6 years.
You mean since he was 4?
That's right. But he tells people, or used to, that she had dozens of admirers, finally married some title gen, became a movie star.
Oh, George. Our children often do that.
Another thing, Mrs. Appleton asked me if Bobby had snitched anything. And I told her about my black tooled leather belt. Then when Bobby came in, I asked him had he seen it, and right away he said yes, it was in his room.
Really?
I asked him if he'd taken it, and he said he guessed he must have. Did I want it back? It was too big for him anyway.
Why isn't that peculiar?
You know, I told you the woman who took him last year said he snitched silly things. A frying pan, a wooden spoon, a belt off one of her dresses.
Oh. Now, I wonder if that's where our little frying pan disappeared to. They were asking me in the kitchen if I'd seen it.
What, there's a frying pan missing?
Heavens, George, we have about 12 frying pans of assorted sizes.
Is there anything else missing?
No, nothing else. Oh. Well, unless you want to say one of my shoes is missing.
One of your shoes?
Those high-heeled things. I've given up high heels, and I put those out to give away. And next time I looked, there was only one. It must have gotten thrown out. Goodness, it would take one shoe.
Who would throw away one shoe?
Oh, George. Look, come on back to bed. Maybe you can get to sleep.
Yeah, maybe.
The damn moon wasn't so bright. Shines right across the bed. Why don't you pull the curtains?
You know what? It's a full moon.
Well, pull the curtains and come to bed. Can you see, or do you want a light on?
Oh, I can see. What was that?
What was what?
Did you hear a door close?
What door?
It sounded like downstairs. There he goes.
Bobby?
Yes, and there's a full moon.
Oh, George.
Like before.
Call him back. Go after him, George.
No. No, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Well, for heaven's sakes, why not? You can't just let him go wandering around all by himself.
No, I don't think he's going to be just wandering around.
You think he's going someplace in particular?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know. And I don't think he knows either. But someplace.
As we are all going someplace. We don't know where, and there is no one who knows to tell us where. Yet very deep in our minds, or our hearts, or our tormented souls, we know we are going someplace. We can't see ahead, and it does no good to look back. We can only trudge on down the road to someplace. I'll be back shortly with Act 3. The full moon with which Act 2 ended has been wiped out now by the exploratory colors of the rising sun. And steadily down a winding road trudges a small boy, 10 years of age, steadily, purposefully, toward a destination he could not name were you to ask him. It is Bobby Deland. The thin little boy's arms start to wave wildly as a truck approaches.
Stop! Please! Please stop!
What's up, kid?
Could you give me a lift?
How far are you going?
I don't know exactly. Down the road a ways.
Come on, get in. Here, let me give you a hand. That's a pretty big step up.
I can do it.
What you doing out at this hour? It's hardly daylight.
I have to go see somebody.
You expected?
Yes, I'm expected. I didn't say when, though.
Going to see your folks?
My mother.
Oh, your mother. Then I guess you know where she's at.
Somewhere along this road.
No number? No name? Like on a mailbox?
I'll know when we get there.
You've been there before, I guess.
It's a great big white house with a big green lawn and flowers.
Think I know the place you mean.
And lots of servants.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. See? Right there. Stop. I want to get out. Stop the truck.
I'll stop. And don't jump. Hold on. I'm stopping. Now, wait a second, kid.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Hey! You hadn't ought to go in there. Hey, you know what you're doing? You hadn't ought to...
That's it. That's the house. This is the lawn. There are the flowers. But where are the servants? Where's my mother?
You want to sit here, Baroness? Under this tree? Is that all right? I'll fetch you some coffee, and I'll be right back.
Excuse me. Are you my mother's maid?
Yes, I am.
Will you tell her I've come to see her, please? If she feels well enough to see me.
What's your name?
Bobby Deland. Would you tell my mother?
And how did you get in here, Bobby?
Somebody dropped me off. Before. I'd been waiting till I saw all the servants come out of the house. Now, please, I'd like to see my mother.
You mean that lady over there?
Yes, my mother.
Oh, I'm afraid that's not your mother, dear. That's the Baroness Hortha.
Well, her name before was Mrs. Deland. Please tell her I want to see her. Oh, never mind.
Hold on now, just a minute.
Let go. Let me
Not
go.
so fast, young man.
Let go of me.
Miss Copeland, what's going on?
Oh, it's this boy. He wandered in here. He wants to talk to the Baroness. He's her son, he says.
Well, then let him.
Should I, Doctor?
Why not? He may succeed where we failed. Go ahead, my boy.
Thank you. Hello, Mother. I'm here.
Hello, Mrs. Appleton? George Carlin. I wanted to tell you Bobby's been found. Thank you for not calling the police. Well, you know, I told you I saw him leave the house. I simply followed him in my car. It wasn't hard, so don't worry. What's that? Well, I don't think that's necessary, but if you want to... Look, can't you tell me over the phone? Well, all right. No, I'm not at home. I'm at the place where I found Bobby. It's on Birch Tree Road, not too far from where I live. A big white house, very big. Big lawn out in front. It's the Wesley Sanitarium. You know it? Well, I'm with Dr. Wesley right now. All right, we'll expect you. Mrs. Appleton's coming over, if that's all right, Doctor.
Perfectly all right.
She wants to tell me something, show me something. I don't know what.
Tell me, Mr. Carlin, what made you think Bobby might come here?
It was just a guess. But when I brought him home from the orphanage, he wanted to turn onto Birch Tree Road.
Did he say why?
He thought it was the road my house is on. Not that it had ever been at my house. All he knew about my house was that it was big and white, had a lawn with flowers and servants. He knew that because I told him. And I told him because he specifically asked.
It seemed important to him, did it?
Very. I was puzzled at that because he's not a snobbish sort of boy, quite the contrary. That insistence on a lot of servants. Now I begin to understand. Your sanitarium does have a lot of servants, as well as a lawn and flowers.
But the boy's never seen the sanitarium, has he?
He hasn't even seen his mother since the age of 4.
Then how would he know?
I suppose that when you think about dream about a certain person for such a long time and fantasize about that person the way he did about his mother.
What sort of fantasies?
Oh, wild ones. That she was much admired, much sought after, that she married into royalty, became a movie star.
Hold on there. She did marry into royalty.
You don't mean she's really a baroness?
Yes, indeed. The Baroness Hortha.
Well, I thought that baroness stuff was, part of her dementia.
The Baron brought her here. The Baron pays her bills. He's not very high up in the royal lists, but he's a baron, nevertheless.
The boy couldn't have known that. No more than he could have known Birch Tree Road.
Now, about her becoming a movie star, the Baron told us that she made a motion picture a few years ago. Actually, that's where he met her. He put up the money. She starred in it.
Well, that's impossible, isn't it? Someone would have known, seen the picture, recognized her.
I don't know who saw the picture, Mr. Carlin. It was a pornographic film.
No.
The Baron has made a good bit of money on pornographic films, I'm told.
She made the film?
Starred in it.
She married the Baron?
He's devoted to her.
Well, then what happened?
About a year ago, she became severely depressed. It went further, into melancholia. Finally, she became very nearly catatonic, and he brought her here. She won't talk to him when he comes to see her. She's never spoken to any of us.
It was about a year ago, as I understand it, that Bobby began to talk about a big white house with a lawn and gardens, and a lot of servants. Could he have known that she'd been brought here? To a place he'd never seen, didn't even know existed?
It's a rare person who has a faculty to sense what is going on. But if there is a great affinity between two people, I suppose a telepathic communication is, it's possible.
Was there such an affinity between Bobby and his mother? After all, she abandoned him when he was 4 and never communicated with him after that.
Communicated with him? I'd say by all the evidence she communicated with him the whole time they were apart. She may not have known she was communicating, but her son was, on the face of it, so sensitively attuned to her and her existence, he could pick up waves that emanated from her that she knew nothing about. Come in.
Dr. Wesley, I hope I did the right thing.
What's that?
Well, I left the little boy with the Baroness. Is that all right?
I think so. The Baroness has never shown the slightest sign of being violent. Quite the contrary.
Well, she does seem interested in him. I mean, she looks at him.
Sounds like progress to me.
So then I should just leave them together?
Where are they?
In her room.
I'd say leave them together. But leave the door open.
Yes, Doctor.
It will be astounding if she recognizes him, accepts him. It could mean she's on her way back.
Dr. Wesley, this faculty you talk about, this rare ability to sense things, what is it?
It doesn't have a name. Anyway, not a name that appears in scientific journals, but some clairvoyants have it, some mystics have it, some saints, I suppose. Many poets have it. It's an ability to reach far into oneself, to make contact. Do you know the poem called The Labyrinth? W.H. Auden wrote it. There are 4 lines from it that I quote to myself all the time. The center that I cannot find is known to my unconscious mind. I have no reason to despair because I am already there. Nice, isn't it?
What does it mean?
Oh, come, Mr. Carlin. You know very well what it means.
That if we only go deep enough into ourselves, we will find the center that will stabilize us? Is that it? Give us peace? Is that it?
The peace that passeth all understanding, because I'm afraid understanding has very little to do with it.
To think that a 4-year-old boy could hold fast to the image of his mother through all those years.
What else had he to hold fast to?
And then find her by his own effort.
Which only proves again, Mr. Carlin, we get what we want if we want it enough. Come in.
Mrs. Appleton.
I got here as soon as I could.
Mrs. Appleton, Dr. Wesley.
Please sit down, Mrs. Appleton.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Now, the boy's all right, Mrs. Appleton. You're not to worry.
He's with his mother.
His mother?
He found her here, Mrs. Appleton. She's the reason for his running away all those times.
Mr. Carlin, Dr. Wesley, I've brought something to show you. Something for you to hear.
And what is that?
Well, when you called me last night, Mr. Carlin, I was so upset. Everything had been going so well, and then to have him run away again. Well, anyway, I couldn't get back to sleep. So I went down to the basement, and I rummaged around among the old files, and I found this.
A tape?
Yes. We keep tapes at the orphanage of all the interviews we have with prospective parents and with the people who leave their children for adoption. Well, this tape, this one goes back 6 years before I came to the orphanage. And it's a tape of... Oh, is it all right if I use this machine, Doctor?
Oh, yes, go right ahead.
All right. Now, I'll just play you the part towards the end. It's the tape they had running when Mrs. Deland came to leave Bobby.
You gotta take him or I'll kill him. Look, I'm a cheap prostitute. I live in one room. I have to send the kid out to play in the street while I'm conducting my business. Now, how long can I go on telling him it's his Uncle Charlie I got up in my room? And another thing, I haven't got the greatest disposition in the world. And when I'm hungover, when my head hurts, I go crazy, and I'm liable to hit him. And not just hit him. I'll hit him with anything that's handy. Yesterday, I hit him with my shoe. With the heel. My shoe. A spiked heel this high. I mean, it doesn't have to be a shoe. I'll pick up anything and hit him with it. A frying pan, the belt off my dress, anything that's handy.
Well, I wanted you to hear that, Mr. Carlin, because you said that Bobby had taken a belt at your house, and the woman last year said he took a frying pan.
He took a shoe of my wife's.
I think we'd better go see if everything's all right. Come with me. He's right down the hall.
How in the world did his mother come to be here?
It's a long story, Mrs. Appleton.
Oh, how did he know she was here?
That's an even longer story.
Here we are.
Is he in there with her?
Yes. Be quiet.
I brought you some presents, Mother. Look. Here's a belt. And here's a frying pan. And here's a shoe. See, Mother? They're for you. With my love.
Mothers of the world, rejoice, for you are loved. Of course, in the human nature of things, you are simultaneously hated, and by the same person. For no emotion as powerful as love can flourish unadulterated. Side by side with love goes hate. It is, you might say, a package deal. I'll be back shortly. Isn't our real life lived within ourselves? The posturing we do in full view of others, what is that but the antic behavior of a poor clown who needs to be applauded? The exterior life is really only incidental. Yet, we expend all our energy on it, while the interior life is left to its own devices, as though deeply ashamed of it. We wish to disown it. Our cast included Michael Tolan, Marion Seldes, Martha Greenhouse, Hetty Galen, and Gilbert Mack. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the shadowy land of the imagination, where all things are possible. Would you believe that a husband and wife could look at the same woman, and the wife would see her as an old lady, almost in her dotage, while the husband sees a beautiful woman in her early 30s? Impossible, you say?
Of course, Ray. You know I'm going to bewitch you.
You've been trying, haven't you?
Well, only half-heartedly. Remember, you're married.
I never forget it for a moment. You're the one who seems to want to forget it. You won't even meet my wife.
Well, of course I will. Let's all attend a witch's Sabbath together. You, your wife, and I, your favorite witch.
You almost make me believe you're serious, Clarissa.
Dare to make the date, and then you'll find out. I'd love to see you at a witch's Sabbath.
Our mystery drama, The Young Die Good, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Murray Burnett and stars Patricia Elliott and Carol Teitel. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Weekdays on CBS television. Don't miss your favorite daytime dramas at new time. Follow the continuing stories of families in conflict, their lives changing every day, full of turmoil, triumph, and treachery. On The Young and the Restless. Then, it's the stirring stories of romantic intrigue and hidden desire on As the World Turns. Be sure to watch The Young and the Restless and As the World Turns. Weekdays on CBS television. Check local listings for new time.
Because Dad does a lot for you, True Value Hardware Stores suggests you give him a Father's Day gift that will do a lot for him, like a quality skilled power tool. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you they offer the Precision 7 1/4-inch skilled circular saw to help Dad with a variety of home projects. For only $34.95, Dad will get a rugged, dependable power tool that features a powerful 1 3/4 horsepower motor. This popular saw will give Dad the quality and confidence of skill and is available at participating True Value Hardware Stores and home centers.
A railroad car clatters through Pennsylvania's coal fields almost a century ago. Its only passenger, a doctor named Matthew Shields, beginning a 16-year special assignment for the American Red Cross. In railroad yards, on sidings, and in the great terminals, Dr. Shields would convert his home on wheels into a classroom and teach first aid and occupational safety to industrial America. And all along the way, local physicians were enlisted as Red Cross volunteers to continue the teaching effort. When the car rolled to a stop for the last time, 2 million people had learned first aid. The effort was called A Good Beginning, but only a beginning. Today, as the Red Cross begins its second century, we're proud that America still looks to us for first aid training. Now we teach over 3 million people every year, and we still say it's only a beginning. Red Cross, ready for a new century.
have never been able to figure out why it's customary to tie strings of empty tin cans to the car of newlyweds. What do the empty cans signify? I can't go along with the cynic who suggested that the cans symbolize the extent of home-cooked meals that the poor groom is going to get for the remainder of his lifetime. I know for a fact that this wasn't true of the young newlyweds we're about to meet, Lisa and Ray Bissonette. Lisa happened to be a good enough cook to be able to win prizes. And on the day our story opens, she'd left a roast in the oven while she went out and explored the small grounds of the Bissonette's little dream house. A high hedge ran alongside the driveway that separated the Bissonette house from their neighbor. And Lisa, with the curiosity that all daughters of Eve have had since the Garden of Eden, poked her head through an opening in the hedge.
Hello there. Come on through and get acquainted.
Hello. I'm Lisa Bissonette. I'm your new neighbor.
I'm Clarice Wenderby. It's good to see young people next door again. I hope you and your husband will be very happy.
Thank you. Have you lived here long?
Well, I was here before your house was built. Of course, my husband was alive then.
And now you're alone?
Yes. And happy to see you. You're welcome to drop in any time, child. I'd be glad of the company.
That's very neighborly, and I'll return the invitation. Oh, but I have to run now. Take a look at my roast. I expect my husband in less than an hour.
Hi there, neighbor.
Oh, hi. I'm Ray Bissonette.
Well, I'm Clarissa Jaffe. Can I offer you a cocktail before dinner?
Sounds delightful, but my wife's expecting me. She heard me drive up and...
Say no more. Just remember you have a rain check any time.
I'll remember. Thanks.
It's nice to have neighbors again. Be seeing you.
Welcome, my lord and master, to your home and castle.
Hey there, doll. Don't let women's lib hear that greeting.
You know I didn't mean it.
You didn't?
Just the welcome part.
Hey, something smells delicious. And yours was the second welcome I got since I came home.
Oh?
You can say that again. The dish who lives next door was at that hedge opening in the driveway and asked me in for a drink.
That's why we're married, darling. I love you and your sense of humor.
What's so funny? She really did ask me.
I'm sure she did, darling. She's a lonely old lady. Oh, I'm sorry to spoil your little game, because I saw her earlier this afternoon, and you can't hope to make me jealous of a woman in her 80s.
Well, I don't know what woman you saw, Lisa. But the lady who spoke to me wasn't anywhere near 30, let alone 80.
I know what I saw and who I saw.
Well, I'm sure you saw what you told me, honey, but... Well, at least give me the same break you asked for yourself. I know what I saw, too.
But it's crazy.
Well... There's probably some simple explanation.
I'll bet there is. And I'm the one who's going to get it from Mrs. Wenderby the first thing tomorrow morning.
Lisa, how nice of you to come visiting so soon and so early. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Coffee would be nice.
Well, let's go into the kitchen. I always find it cozier. Do you take cream and sugar?
Just black, thank you.
Tell me, are you getting used to the neighborhood? Do you find the shopping center exciting?
As a matter of fact, yes. But if you don't...
Well, I get out so infrequently. There used to be a farmer's market on Duane Street that had the loveliest, freshest vegetables.
Duane Street?
Yes, just one block past the station. Of course, you don't meet your husband at the train, so...
My husband's really the reason I came over.
Oh, how interesting.
You didn't meet him yesterday, did you?
Did he say he did?
Well, he said he met a beautiful 30-year-old woman.
Here? In my house?
Who's the woman my husband saw last night?
My dear child, don't tell me you're jealous.
Goodbye, Mrs. Wenderby. I'm sorry I bothered you.
Please don't go. I'll try to help you. Why should it be so difficult? There's something here I don't understand, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. It might be best if you move. What? It really might be best. It's ridiculous. Well, do you know what you're saying? Yes. But Ray and I looked for a house for almost 6 months. We could never find a house like this at the price we paid. I know. Perhaps you'll do well to find out why this house went so cheaply. Hi, neighbor. I'm glad you decided to pick up your rain check on that drink so quickly.
No drink, thanks.
Oh, come in anyway. It's only neighborly to get...
I left the office early today, just to straighten something out. This shouldn't really take more than a minute.
Are you afraid of me? Sit down.
Oh, thank you. It may sound silly, but last night my wife and I got into a ridiculous argument.
Oh, not over me.
Yes, you see, Lisa says you're an old lady.
Well, how could she, since we've never met?
Well, that's what I told her. But she insists she was here before me yesterday and spoke with an old lady who said she lived here.
Oh, now I understand. What a silly, silly mistake. The old lady your wife met is my mother, Clarice Wenderby.
Your mother lives with you?
But not all the time. But she's here a good deal. My husband's wonderful about it.
Well, Lisa told me she was very definite about saying she lived here alone.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you know that isn't so, don't you, Ray?
I know, but how do I convince Lisa?
Well, being a woman, I think Lisa will understand when you tell her my mother's vain.
Vain?
Yes, as ridiculous as it sounds for a woman her age. She just hates to admit that she has a daughter my age.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
Are, either of your parents living, Ray?
My dad, he's 68.
Well, you'll find that the older a person gets, the more childish their behavior can become.
I'm glad you said can, because I don't think my dad is...
Well, let's hope not. But, can you understand why my mother lied to your wife?
No, not completely, but at least I'll be able to calm Lisa down.
No. It's the most ridiculous story I've ever heard.
But, darling, I tell you that
I know what you tell me. You've been telling me for the past half hour. And I tell you it's nonsense. Did you ask to see her mother?
It never occurred to me.
Why not?
Well,
You didn't take my word seriously enough to question this beautiful dame you say lives next door. That's why not.
Oh, now, Lisa, I can't know why you're making this personal. I believe you. I believe you met and spoke with an 83-year-old woman who said she lived in the house next door. Alone. Now, why won't you believe that this woman is the mother of the young woman who spoke with me?
Because Mrs. Wenderby said she didn't have a daughter.
But I've already explained that.
And I don't buy it.
For the 100th time, why not?
Because when I spoke to Mrs. Wenderby today and told her your story about meeting the young lady, what do you think she said to me?
I can't imagine.
She told me to move. Move out of this house.
Well, that proves it. The old girl is slightly batty.
I know how to settle this. We're going over there, the two of us, and straighten this out once and for all. Well, it is possible that they're afraid to answer the door.
That's not possible. But it is possible that no one's home.
You said you were just talking to her.
I think we've been arguing at least 15 minutes. She could have gone out during that time.
But there are lights upstairs.
Well, some people leave lights on when they go out because they're afraid that an unlighted house is an invitation to a burglar.
I can't understand why you're so dead set against admitting that for some reason she doesn't want to meet me.
And I can't understand why we're standing outside an obviously empty house ringing a doorbell when we could go back to our place.
I'm sorry, Ray.
It's okay.
I don't know what's happening to us. Or I guess I should say what's happening to me. I'm behaving like all the wives I've hated all my life.
Oh, forget it, love.
Ray, why was this house such a good buy?
What?
Mrs. Wenderby told me to ask you why we got this house so cheap.
Oh, I thought we were going to stay off this subject.
I just want a simple answer to a simple question.
Is that really all you're asking?
Yes. Why won't you answer me?
Well, I have my reasons.
I'm sure you have. And I guess it's because of the attractiveness of that 30-year-old woman you say lives next door.
Why, you're jealous. That's what this whole thing is about. You're jealous.
Don't be ridiculous.
For Pete's sake, Lisa, the reason I don't want to tell you is, well, it's because I'm afraid you'll get upset.
I'll be more upset if you don't tell me.
Okay. Superstitious people around here think there's some kind of jinx on this house.
Jinx?
It's silly, but there you are.
Why? Why do they think there's a jinx?
Something about the last two couples who lived here. Both husbands, they died under peculiar... I don't know. Don't worry about it. It's all a lot of nonsense.
How did they die, Ray?
I don't know. Nobody knows. They just disappeared.
Disappearing husbands have always been a problem to the wives they leave behind. And houses with a reputation for bringing tragedy to families that dwell in them have always been a problem to those who want to dispose of them. Behind both problems, there's always a reason. And that's what Lisa Bissonette intends to discover when I return shortly with Act 2.
Hi, I'm Susan Anton. Fitness that feels good by day needs firmness that feels good by night. That's why you'll love the Certi-Perfect Sleeper. Luxurious top comfort plus deep inner support. You get both with every perfect sleeper. So remember, be a perfect sleeper. Try a perfect sleeper, perfect sleeper. Try Certi. It's a healthy investment in yourself.
Pour on the snap. Pour on the Kraft barbecue sauce. Pour on the snap. Pour on the Kraft barbecue sauce. Pour on the snap. Pour on the Kraft barbecue sauce.
Only one barbecue sauce can give you the snap of this secret blend of 16 herbs and spices. Ours.
Pour on the snap. Pour on the Kraft barbecue sauce. Pour on the snap.
For the hungry of the world, life can be worse than death. Because living with hunger means living with disease, blindness, mental retardation. They're crying out for help.
Please don't turn away from me. You're the caring one I need. With your help, I know I'll grow. You will give me hope.
1/4 of the world's people lives with hunger every day. But there is hope. Right now, Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish relief and development agencies are working with people in 90 countries. Please, help them. They're getting food to the children and bringing life-giving skills to the adults so the hungry of the world will learn to grow their own food. Send your tax-deductible contributions to the Interfaith Hunger Appeal, P.O. Box 1000, New York 10150. You are the hope of the hungry. Please give. A public service of the Interfaith Hunger Appeal and Advertising Council. Today's civilization is replete with problem solvers of various kinds. We have our priests, ministers, rabbis, and gurus, and we have the psychoanalysts, the newspaper columnists, the palm readers, soothsayers, and astrologists, all doing their best to clear up the riddles of the living. Some strong-minded people prefer to do their own problem solving. Ray Bissonette was one of these.
And he faced his problem by coming home early, leaving his car around the corner, and walking across the lawn of the house next door to his.
Hi there, neighbor. You look like a man with a problem.
All right, you are.
Can I help?
You bet. Because you're the problem.
Oh, don't tell me it's your wife and my mother again.
That's exactly what it is, and I'd be grateful if you just walk across to my house with me right now and let me introduce you to Lisa.
Well, of course.
You will?
Well, you sound surprised.
Well, forgive me, but this thing has Lisa so uptight, I guess some of her nonsense has rubbed off on me.
Well, what seems to be bothering her? Is she jealous?
It's hard to tell. She finds the situation strange.
Oh!
What happened?
Oh, it's my ankle.
Oh.
I turned it in this hole. I told Harry we've got to do something about the moles. They tunnel everywhere.
Can you walk?
I'll try. Would you let me lean on you? Oh.
No. This is no good. Let me carry you.
Well, I'm certainly not going to meet your wife with you carrying
No,
me.
I'll take you back to your place. Just put your hand around my neck. You want the couch or the chair?
Well, I think the couch, if you don't mind. I can put my foot up.
There you are.
Oh.
Anything I can get you?
Oh. No, thanks. And, Ray, I'm truly sorry.
Well, accidents happen.
Are you angry?
Oh, no. No, it was an accident.
You should be.
Why?
Well, isn't it obvious? You and your pretty wife are quarreling, and I'm the cause.
Oh, it'll pass.
Ray, do you find me fascinating?
Interesting.
But not irresistible.
Oh, come on, Clarissa. What are you trying to do?
Find out if I'm attractive to you.
You know you are.
Good. That makes me happy. Just knowing that I'm still attractive.
Hey, you talk like an old lady.
Well, women are funny.
I wish I could tell when you're leveling.
You will when you get to know me better.
Well, that's not going to be until Lisa meets you.
I promise you that we'll meet.
When?
I don't know, but...
Hey, how about you and Harry getting together with us for an evening? Maybe dinner and a show.
Well, I'd love it, but... Well, Harry's really pretty much of a stick in the mud.
Oh, I'm sure you can talk him into going out with us.
Well, I'll try.
How about this Saturday?
Well, you must prove to your pretty wife that there really is a Clarissa.
That's one reason.
I'll try to get Harry to go along.
Where shall we meet?
Well, if you don't hear from me, let's make it Theodore's.
Okay.
The food is good, the lights are low, and the music romantic.
Your Clarissa and Harry are almost 1 hour late.
I guess so, but, well, relax. This is a lovely restaurant. We can have another cocktail.
No, thank you.
I'm sure they'll be here any minute.
Why am I sure they won't be?
Darling, I spoke with Clarissa this morning. It's just inconceivable they won't show. After all, we're neighbors. There's no reason for them.
Mr. Bissonette?
Yes?
Telephone for you, sir. Shall I bring it to your table?
I'll see you at home, Ray.
Hey, now, wait a minute,
I've
Lisa.
waited too long as it is. Both of us know what that phone call means, and I've had it. If you want to talk to me, you can reach me at home. And if you're not at home in an hour, don't bother to come at all.
Here's your phone, sir.
Oh, thank you. Hello?
Oh, Ray, darling, I don't know how to tell you this, but...
You can't make it.
Yes, that's right. Harry came down with this miserable... Well, I don't know, I guess it's a 24-hour virus or something, and it just... Well, look, let's make it another time.
Oh, no, that's out of the question now, Clarissa. It's been strange knowing you, but we better forget the whole thing.
Why, Lisa, child, what brings you here at this time of night?
Your sick son-in-law, Harry. I thought maybe he'd like...
Harry? Sick?
Isn't he?
No, not that I know of.
At least we're getting somewhere. You admit that you have a daughter and a son-in-law.
Well, come in, child.
All right. Now, perhaps you'll tell me why your daughter Clarissa doesn't want to meet me.
Did you, find out why your house was such a bargain?
Yes.
And you're still not thinking of moving?
I want to see your daughter.
There's no way you can. Unless you're willing to take my advice.
Are you trying to frighten me?
I am trying to help you. Believe me, my child, I'm trying to help you. And I should know better.
What's that thunder?
I'm afraid we're in for a storm. You'd best be getting back to your house.
But you still haven't told me what
I've done more than I should. Now take my advice and take your handsome young husband and move out of that house.
My dear Mrs. Bissonette, I understand a little bit of what you're trying to tell me. But I still don't understand how you found me.
Professor Cooper, I told you. I was looking at these books on witchcraft in the library, and I came across your name several times. And everyone seems to agree that you're the foremost authority on witches. So I checked with the publishers, and they gave me your address.
And what is it you want me to do?
Tell my husband that at least there is the possibility that... well, that something very strange is going on at the house next door.
I couldn't possibly do that, Mrs. Bissonette. Not until I've done some investigating on my own.
Oh, would you, Professor? I'll pay whatever you...
It's not a question of money. It's time, of which I have very little. But if what you say is true, this might be very productive for my research for a book I'm doing on witchcraft now. I'll check it out.
This is my husband, Professor Linus Cooper.
Pleased to meet you.
Professor, please tell him what's happening next door.
I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but I have gathered enough evidence to make me suspicious and worried.
What do you call evidence, Professor?
I called at the house yesterday, and I saw the 80-year-old lady.
Oh, that doesn't prove anything.
And no one else. However, I am going to make one further test. Mrs. Bissonette, tell me, do you remember seeing any clocks in the house when you visited?
I really can't say. I was only in the kitchen and walked through the living room.
What's all this about clocks?
Just this. I intend to get back into that house somehow in the next few days and explore it thoroughly. And if I find that there are no clocks in the house...
What?
I should then advise you to move, Mr. Bissonette, and move fast.
Hey, Bissonette.
Please don't hang up.
Oh, Clarissa, I'm very busy, really.
I know. I apologize for calling you at your office, but I just have to explain.
Oh, I've told you that it's...
Please meet me for lunch today. At Whitley's. Anytime at your convenience.
On one condition. That you promise to meet Lisa and talk with her.
I can't go into that again, not on the phone. What time?
1:30. It's less crowded then. I just hope I'm not making another mistake.
Well, I'm the one who made the mistake, thinking I could play this crazy game.
I don't understand.
But there is no Harry. That's why I couldn't meet you and Lisa last night.
You mean you're not married?
Divorced. You see, there was a Harry.
Why did you...
Lied to you?
Yes.
Well, because I like you.
Well, that explains everything. You like a guy, so you lie to him.
Well, you do if you're a divorcee and you want to see him again without problems.
You're still not making sense.
Maybe this lunch wasn't such a good idea after all. Because when I tell you about my mother, well, it's going to sound like something out of a confession magazine.
Try me.
Well, my mother... why is it so hard for me to say this? My mother isn't well.
You mean there's something wrong with her physically?
No. She's old and she gets... well, you know how some old people get.
Senile?
A little more than that. As a matter of fact, The doctor has told me to institutionalize her, but I just can't. I won't.
Okay. I understand your problem, and even why you don't want to solve it by sending your mother away, but can't you understand mine?
Of course, Ray. And I promise to do something about it.
All you have to do is meet Lisa and explain it to her. And you also ought to tell your mother to quit telling people Horace to her isn't scaring the wits out of them.
I'm home, Clarice. I'm home. And I'm alone. And I must talk to you. I know. Then you must know what I want to talk to you about. Of course. Please, be kind. How can I be anything else? Aren't we one and the same, just an older and a younger version of the same woman? That's why I know how angry you are, and it's also so useless somehow. Useless? Then why don't you appear, Clarice, before Ray? Let him see the old woman. For the same reason you don't meet Lisa and show her the young woman. Right, Clarice. You remember our bargain with him, our master. I only have so much of the energy, and it must be reserved for the young men whom we need to stay young. And I talk to the young women. But, Clarissa, this one I like. And you frightened her, Clarice. You scared her so much she went and talked to our old friend. Who do you mean? Professor Linus Cooper. And do you know what he's been talking about, Clarice? No, leave me alone. He has been asking about clocks. He wants to know if there are any clocks in our house. Clocks to tell the passage of time. You know what clocks are, you old fool. Oh, please. And he is going to come here, and he's going to look around unless I stop him.
That's very strange. I'd have sworn the house was right around the corner. Now, let's see that street sign. Yes, Green Tree Lane. That was the name of the street. I'll just drive over the hill and turn the corner and... Hey, look out, you fool! Watch
it! Clarissa, was that the sound of a car crash? I don't think Professor Cooper will come visiting. I'm too old. Too old, Clarissa. And too tired. I know all about it, Clarice. I know how old you are, and silly, and soft. You told Lisa Bissonette to move, although you knew very well that her nice young husband would move with her. Didn't you, Clarice? I've told you, Clarissa, I'm very old and very, very tired. Just remember, you'll be a lot older and a lot more tired if Ray Bissonette moves away. You, Clarice, might even be...
From our first arithmetic class, we're taught that 1 and 1 make 2. 2 and 2 make 4, and so on. Until today, we're living in the computer society where giant adding machines solve all our problems for us. However, our minds would boggle, and the computer would break down in a world where 1 and 1 made only 1.
I'll explain that strange arithmetic when I return shortly with Act 3.
The family's all gathered, summertime is here. Volleyball and barbecuing, it's that time of year. Working up a thirst, just sitting in the shade. Nothing's finer than the taste of good old-fashioned lemonade. Country time, tastes like good old-fashioned lemonade.
Made with natural lemon flavor, so it's not too tart, not too sweet. Country Time lemonade flavored drink.
Tastes like good old-fashioned lemonade. Kodak brings the instant to life.
An instant picture is instant fun.
Is that me?
Kodak offers you instant fun money. For a limited time only, get a $10 rebate when you buy either the Kodak Colorburst 250 or the new Colorburst 350 instant camera. See your photo dealer for details and get $10 for instant fun.
It is me. Kodak brings the instant to life. Help me make it through the night.
Still up when the other TV stations are signing off?
After midnight, don't let it all ring down.
Now Channel 56 goes 24 hours.
Night and day. You are the one.
Catch Channel 56's primetime lineup repeated overnight.
Working on a night move.
Watch quality TV like heartwarming dramas, intriguing science adventures, suspenseful mysteries, entertaining variety shows, interviews with Dick Cavett, and a range of music from jazz to rock to country to classical. So tune in at Channel 56 anytime and sample our new 24-hour schedule. Now watch around the clock as Channel 56 goes 24 hours.
56 in Detroit, WTS.
Jealousy is one characteristic that is just as prevalent among males as females. Jealous feelings often conceal themselves behind other facades. And Ray Bissonette is convinced that his wife, Lisa, is overreacting to their somewhat eccentric neighbors because she's jealous of the lady next door. Lisa's willing to admit there may be some truth in that, but she's also convinced there's a lot more to it than jealousy, even though she can't put a name to it.
There's something so very wrong. I know it. I feel it in my bones.
It just doesn't justify our giving up this house and paying a lot more for something nowhere near as nice.
And what about Professor Cooper?
Are you going to try and blame an automobile accident on Clarissa?
Clarissa's just a name. I still haven't met her.
And you know why not.
Would you please listen to Clarice?
Why should I listen to an old lady who would be in an institution except for the kindness of her daughter?
You believe that?
Why not? A lot of old people get funny ideas.
Particularly when they live right next door to a house from which 2 young men have disappeared in the last year and a half.
Why, honey, you're really scared.
Yes. Yes, you big lug, I am.
Okay. Short of packing up and moving us out of here, what can I do to unscare you?
Listen to Clarice when you meet her.
And when will that be?
As soon as I can arrange it.
I see your little lady friend from next door is coming to visit, Clarice. And I must say I'm glad to get a chance to rest. It's quite tiring for me. I know, Clarissa. I know. Now remember, we need Ray Bissonette. I know that, too. I'm even more tired than you, Clarissa. Much more.
Oh, I'm so glad you're home, Mrs. Wenderby. I have a lot that I want...
Why don't you just come in and have some tea? I was just making myself a cup.
Oh, thank you.
You don't mind the kitchen?
Oh, not at all.
My dear, what is it you want from me?
I think you should come with me to my house and tell Ray what you told me.
Do you think your husband will move out because I tell him he should?
You're very wise. And forgive me, but very strange, too.
Just very old. You don't think about growing old, do you? Well, of course not. You're too young and too alive. You're not worried about the lines and the wrinkles. You wouldn't look for some way, for any way, to stay young forever.
Now, come on, baby. This is the 20th century, the atomic age, the computer-controlled society. Don't give me this stuff about witches.
How else can you explain what's been going on?
I wish you'd tell me just what you think has been going on.
Ray, why is it that I only see Mrs. Wenderby and you only see Clarissa?
I don't know.
It's because you're a man and I'm a woman.
Why should that make a difference?
If they both were the same woman, it would make all the difference in the world, wouldn't it?
Do you know what you're saying?
Yes.
Where in the world did you ever get a nutty idea like that?
From these books.
Then I suggest you stop reading them. Stick with the comics. They make more sense.
You see, the succubi are really frighteningly ugly, but to young men they appear beautiful and desirable.
I can't believe you'd take all this witch and succubi stuff seriously.
2 men who lived in this house before us disappeared.
The only thing about that bothers me is that it bothers you.
If you're really concerned about me, there is something you can do.
Well, if you mean move out, the answer...
I mean put my theory to the test.
How are we going to do that?
You make one last date with Clarissa.
Whoa.
Hear me out. Just for lunch or cocktails or coffee. You tell me when and where. I'll happen along and you'll introduce me. After I meet her, I'll give you my word I'll never mention witches or moving again.
Sorry, Clarissa, but I don't think I'm late.
You're right on the dot. Honestly, Ray, I was so excited when you called. I just couldn't wait to see you.
My wife asked me to call you.
Well, I find that fascinating.
She's really bugged about never having met you, and she's getting all kinds of crazy ideas about you and your mother, and I'm really worried.
Well, of course you are. I will have you and your wife at my house for cocktails tomorrow around 5:30.
Great.
But only on the condition that you come alone on the following day for tea.
I hate tea.
Oh, but you haven't tasted my brew.
But
And you'll also promise to look deeply into my eyes when you drink.
You're putting me on.
I was never more serious in my life. And now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, but I wanted to tell you about this.
Talking to yourself, darling?
Oh, Lisa, no. I was just trying to tell Clarissa about your coming today.
Where is she?
She just this minute went to the ladies' room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, Lisa. She asked us over for cocktails tomorrow.
She did?
I've never seen you so excited.
When we ring the bell and Clarissa, or Clarice, opens the door and asks us in, it's going to be like the end of a bad dream for me.
For me, too, but only because of you. I've never seen you so uptight before.
Oh, after I meet her, I'll make it up to you.
Just go back to being your old self.
I promise. Oh.
What's the matter?
I don't know. I suddenly feel dizzy, as if I'm going to faint.
Maybe we shouldn't go any further. We can call and make it for some other...
No way. I'm not going to break this appointment. Let's go. Oh, Ray.
What?
Help me. I'm falling.
You promised not to hurt her. The doctor's car drove into the highway a few minutes ago. We should be hearing from him any minute. There. Answer it. Answer it. I don't want him to think we've been sitting right on the phone. Now. Hello?
Clarissa?
Yes, Ray. Where are you?
I'm home. The most incredible thing happened. We were on our way to your house, and Lisa suddenly felt faint. As a matter of fact, fainted dead away. Hit her head on a stone.
Oh, I hope it wasn't serious.
The doctor said she'll be okay in a day or so, but... Well, meanwhile, we have to postpone our date.
Oh, what a shame. I was so looking forward to meeting Lisa.
Not half as much as she was.
Remember, you're having tea with me.
Well, that'll depend on how Lisa feels.
I'm so glad Lisa's feeling better. And I'm equally glad you came over for tea.
Well, would you be very upset if I drank something else? I'm just not much of a tea lover.
Well, you haven't tasted the tea I brew. I promise you, an unforgettable experience.
Oh. Well, if you put it that way.
I do indeed. Oh, here. Needs just a little sugar, but no cream.
Looks awfully strong.
Taste it.
Doesn't smell like any tea I ever drank.
Well, I told you it's not like any tea you ever drank. Come on now, Ray. Take a swallow and look at me.
I see you.
I mean, in my eyes. Look deeply and drink deeply.
Oh, Clarissa. You're...
Yes, Ray. What am I?
Oh, you're truly beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Ray.
Your eyes have a radiance and a shine that I've never seen before. And your lips.
Yes. Yes, my lips. Would you like to kiss my lips?
Oh, yes. Yes, I would.
Oh, this is what I wanted since we first met, Ray. To hold you in my arms and hold you forever and ever, and hold your youth and your vitality and feel it make me young again. And do you still find me beautiful, Ray?
You've changed. But I can still see your beauty.
Drink some more tea, Ray. And hold me. Hold me tight and close. That's it. Squeeze me, Ray, and I'll squeeze you. Squeeze the life out of you and into me. And...
You're not Clarissa.
Of course I am. I'm your Clarissa. And Lisa's Clarice. And your true love.
No, you're old. You're the old lady Lisa saw.
Hold me. Hold me, Ray. Hold me tight. The tighter you hold me, the more I'll seem like Clarissa. Hold me, Ray. Hold me. And love me for all eternity. Because we're bound together forever.
To all the newly marrieds and about to be marrieds listening, I know of a charming little house for sale. It's a great bargain. The only qualification that's absolutely necessary is that the husband be a young and virile man. However, if you purchase it, you don't have to worry because all of you are strong-minded enough to know that there really aren't any such things as witches. I'll be back shortly.
When you want quality, instant printing in a hurry, see the professionals who print at PIP.
PIP stands for Professional Quality Printing at Low Prices. PIP printers are trained in the latest printing techniques. They use professional presses to turn out printing you can be proud of. From carbonless forms, letterheads, sales reports, whatever. Depend on the professionals at PIP. Look for the PIP near you in the yellow pages under printers. That's PIP.
Hi, I'm Julie Amato for White Westinghouse. Because food storage needs are so different, White Westinghouse makes refrigerators in many styles and sizes. You can get spacious side-by-sides in both 3-door or 2-door styles. Or choose a model with the freezer on the top, even a model with the freezer on the bottom. And if you already have a separate freezer, buy the all-refrigerator model. Many good reasons to White Westinghouse, your house. White Westinghouse, your house.
Before Shogun, in a Japan of warring clans and star-crossed lovers, there was the glorious saga, Shike. Shike, the beautiful and violent epic of a warrior monk trained in 1,000 ways to kill. And the radiant noblewoman whose passion for him defies all tradition. Shike, the Japan you will always remember. In the Jove paperback you will never forget.
Ohio's Junior Miss.
Thursday on CBS television.
The first runner-up, winner of an $8,000.
It's the 24th annual America's Junior Miss Pageant. Lauren Green will host as 50 high school seniors compete to win the title of America's Junior Miss. Don't miss the America's Junior Miss Pageant, Thursday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on CBS television.
Speaking of witches, as we were, it's of course true that people have always had an ambiguous attitude towards them. In some literature, they're portrayed as fascinating, lovely women with quicksilver qualities who bewitch the males with their charms. In other stories, they appear ugly old bags, spreading evil and polluting everything they touch. Which is the true picture? Could it be, perhaps, that both are true? Think about it. Our cast included Patricia Elliott, Carol Teitel, Ira Lewis, and Dan Acco. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.